1, 2, 3, 4.
I guess this episode of the Blacktooth Podcast is brought to you by the Cape May County Herald. Thank you so much for doing a nice piece on Jay. I do appreciate that Miss Karen Knight did a good write-up on Hollywood Jay Scrocca. That was a very nice, pleasant thing to read. I was not expecting to see Jay on the cover of our local county fish wrap, I guess. But yeah, it was neat. She wrote a very good article. It was very pleasant. I have a minor critique of the article. There's a bunch of mention of Tony Walker's Knock 'em Dead podcast, which, you know, they got a decent subscribership of about like 12 to 1,300 people. Look at Muscles Marinara over here bringing in the groceries. He's doing a good job. Congratulations, Jake and Christina. They just had baby Stefan. I was holding my breath for baby Joe, but yeah, beggars can't be choosers. They can't all be tacos. But regardless, congratulations. Baby Stefan's in there taking a nap with Tina right now. So looks like we got a nice little window opportunity to, you know, do a podcast here. So yeah, but. Yeah, Karen wrote a nice little article on Jay, and that's is very nice. Except she mentioned Tony Walker's podcast, and I just feel that we've been a little shortchanged by several publications or institutions for, you know, we're the ones that broke Jay. Like we're Jay's, you know, home base. We're his bread and butter. You Google Jay Scrocca comedy or Joe Scrocca comedy. The first thing that comes up is usually the Blacktooth Podcast featuring Jay Scrocca. You know, it's a weird conundrum that I feel we're facing here, where Jay's there goes the blunts, fucking fantastic. It's a windy day, stupid. Where'd you leave him? Outside. I'll go get him for him. I'm a good friend. Porch is hot today. Whew. Tootsies are burning. Won't be doing that again. Jeez. Ugh. Trying to tuck these back. Daddy needs his brain fuel in a little bit. I know that for sure. Just out here mowing the lawn like a good egg. He's doing his chores. But yeah, like we're a local podcast. You know, I think as far as I know, there's like several in Cape May County, but like we're almost at 100 episodes. I think this is 97, if I'm not mistaken. I could look it up, but my phone's not on hand right now. But yeah, like, you know, I would just like to point out, and I'll be posting this in Spout Off a little bit later today, once the episode's up. That yeah, like, you know, we're happy to, you know, if you want to come on and see what we do, we would love for you to come and write an article on us. We just feel a little bit snubbed. Jay explicitly mentioned us in the interview. At least that's what he told me. If that's not accurate, then, you know, Jay is a bit of a fibber, so we won't hold that against him too much. But yeah, like, you know, he said that he mentioned us, and that he also mentioned Tony Walker's Knock 'em Dead. And look, like I said, nothing against Tony Walker. He's a great guy. It was very fun to have some counterbalance to Jay's Blacktooth experience. It's good to see him getting on, you know, more noteworthy podcasts. We're not knocking any of this. It's all positive things. On top of that, we'd love for Tony Walker to work with us potentially. You know, maybe give us a little bit of that governor's publicity. No, just kidding. But this is what I'm talking about, though. It's like, you know, podcasting, much like any other media, it's like it's all about who you know and making connections and whatnot. And we feel like, you know, we put a lot of stuff out there for you know, people to embrace and consume, I guess. But, you know, hopefully consume. We just yeah, we want everybody to know that we're here, and that, like, we have an open door policy. This is done on Jake's front porch. You know, we've had Shep drive by and stop and pop in for a good 20 minutes of the ep. Karen, we would love to have you on, or we'd love for you to come through and see what we're doing here. If we were just a little confused as to why we weren't mentioned. We would like a little bit of the limelight too. We're not, like I said, we're not trying to dick ride Jay's success. Jay's doing his own thing. It's just like he specifically mentioned podcasts, and you didn't mention the one in your own county, especially the one that comedian's getting his big break on. You go on YouTube, you find a lot of his material on the old Blacktooth page. A few open mics, a few sets. Got him ripping his shirt off in Vineland, doing his Velcro machine bit. I don't even know. Yeah, actually, I wanted to bring this up to Jake. I don't have Netflix right now, but one of the things that I guess is out in the ether, because I've had like 3 people and I've seen a couple of YouTube videos, Too Lazy to Try, Comedy Enforcement, talking about this, but the roast of Tom Brady, I still need to see it, but everybody's talking about Nikki Glazer and Tony Hinchcliffe's, like how funny their segments were. I do feel like I'm in anime right now. All these little fucking like helicopter fucking seedlings keep falling on me. And it's like, I feel like I should be, ooh, woo, waifu, whatever the fuck that shit is. I don't watch anime. Anime's for girls. Shit's gay. But yeah, what was I fucking talking about? Oh yeah, the roast of Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he got his shit pushed in. I mean, for years on the field, had a few rings to show about it, so there's some good coming out of it. But his roast was one of those things where everybody's talking about it, and I haven't had a chance to see it, so I've just been lying to people and saying, yeah, it was good, I liked it. But all I've seen is Hinchcliffe tearing everybody apart, and then I guess Too Lazy to Try had some segment where they were talking about that when Hinchcliffe was doing his thing, he went up to Bert, made a big joke about Bert, and then just skipped right over Tom. And speculation is that there is some trouble in paradise, and I'm pretty sure that it was early in on this, that I think that they've jumped the shark a little bit, that their LA-ness has superseded their funniness, and the burgeoning rumors and the stuff going around the knitting circles, as they say, has been Bert and Tom don't agree. Fuck yeah! I was talking passionately. Sorry. No, you're fine, dude. I was just talking about I got the ball rolling. I gave a shout out to Jay's Herald article, and I invited the author Karen Knight to come on.
Yeah, well, now the real fucking superstar's here.
Fucking sitting down, putting on the shades.
Fucking Jay guy. Why doesn't he smoke a blunt or something?
He told me last night he smoked weed for the first time in like 35 years. And I was like, with who? And he's like, my ex-girlfriend that's now in rehab for heroin and has hepatitis. So I'm like,
jeez.
Yeah, funny. But
so Jay's got hepatitis now?
Nah, Jay's clean as far as I'm concerned.
Hepatitis.
I've been looking at his
fuck.
I have to see what you did there.
Hepatitis C for cannabis.
Yeah, there you go.
Boo.
Hepatitis CBD.
That's a fucking hot one out here today.
Yeah, dude, it's a scorcher. That's why I'm dressed like Beach Joe.
Let's just do Chip the entire episode.
Fuck yeah, dude. You do Chip, I'll do Joey Diaz. And
I was just listening to Joey for the last hour while I was
yeah,
cutting the grass.
cocksucker. I stole this
did a whole package at fucking La Cienega in fucking 1999. My fucking spine was tingling, Joe Rogan. It was some old episode of The Church where Joe Rogan was guest, and he was just telling stories. They were telling like old LA stories.
Nice.
This is the cocaine that killed Richard Pryor.
Well, speaking of LA stories, any chance you saw Tom Brady's roast? I don't have Netflix.
I saw a few. I do have Netflix. I spend $23 a month to not watch it. I never watch it. It's a fucking waste of money. Yeah. But I wanted to watch that NASCAR. They did like a 365 or whatever they call it. Where they follow teams around throughout the course of the season,
Yeah, like the HBO, like the HBO one they used to do on the hockey players. Yeah.
It was really cool, and that's the only reason I rebought fucking Netflix, and I finished that in like 2 days, and now I've been paying it for like 4 months, and I don't watch it. Tina watches it, but
get Trailer Park Boys when you're feeling zesty.
I didn't catch the roast. I caught some clips. I saw Hinchcliffe fucking murdering, but. Yeah. I saw Too Lazy to Try kind of shitting on Bert and Tom.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. I was like, it seems like a little trouble in paradise. I said like months, maybe a year ago or so, that it seemed like they've kind of jumped the shark, and now everybody was like jumping on. Tony skipped over Tom in his roast, and people are like, these vodka salesmen aren't funny, and like I guess that's kind of like the esteem that people are characterizing them now, is that they're not comedians, they're vodka salesmen, and that clearly Tom is disinterested in being there. Or at least that's like Too Lazy to Try, and Comedy Enforcement's like 2 cents.
Too Lazy to Try, like
He's a little cunty, you know.
Yeah, like I was just like,
But I
feel like he
makes
obviously-
good points, but he drives them home in a way that's like, go fuck yourself. You're like,
He based his entire 20-minute videos off one YouTube comment.
yeah.
And she's like, this is how the people feel. And it's like, that's one fucking guy.
Yeah.
I still love Tom and Bert. But, like, I don't know. I see both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't watch the roast or anything. I thought Nikki Glazer's, because that was sent to me, and then Tony Hinchcliffe's was funny, too. But then I saw the Bert and Tom's thing was they compared Tom Brady to Hitler, and I'm like,
They did, like, a PowerPoint.
oof. And I guess Bert whipped out a bag of blow, too, or something.
I heard that. Something. That rules.
I was like, I'm back on board.
On Team
I'm
Bert,
back
dude.
on Team Bear.
Bert does fucking nose beers. You
Yeah.
sign me up, dude.
So,
I'll take my shirt off right now.
In front of the Netflix, like, higher corporate, like, he literally has major motion picture and, like, comedy deals with Netflix, and he's just like, I got Coke on stage. Ooh, ooh. Like, you're a fucking
Probably wasn't
idiot.
even real. It was probably like
Yeah, it was probably like
a
a fucking, like, prop, you know,
Yeah.
or something, like, for the bit, you know, because they scrutinize each other's fucking comedy, so they know what to play off of beforehand. Like, I think Patrice and
never
Voss
heard-
talked about that.
I've never heard Bert as a particular Coke guy. He's talked about like trying it and stuff back in the day, but he's
was
not like a Joey Diaz or
Well,
like a
he-
Sam Kinnis. Like,
He was talking, it's early on, I want to say like the first like 10 or 15 episodes of Two Bears, they were talking about getting Dr. Drew on so that they could do Coke on the episode. And Bert was like Tom was like, all right, funny. But then like Bert like pushed it for several episodes where it's like, okay, maybe he does like nose beers a little. Like he is a frat guy. Like that is, you know,
I'm
part
sure
and
he's done
parcel,
his
yeah.
fair share of nose brewskis. But
Yeah.
I just don't picture
I was
him.
in the Russian Mafia. Woo!
I don't picture. I don't picture him as someone like doing blow on the.
Well, he
radio.
made
But then
such a-
again, like I don't know this fucking guy.
Yeah,
like,
same,
I
like, he
hear
also
him
made
1
such
hour
a-
a week on a fucking podcast.
He made such a big deal out of Ari dosing him with LSD. You would think he's like a little bit substance
LSD.
averse. Yeah, it wasn't. What was it?
Molly.
Molly. Okay, but still, he like.
I'm on blood pressure medication. I could die.
Yeah, it's like, well, if he's doing nose beers, like clearly he's got a death wish.
It's one of those things I don't really like.
What?
Uh,
Cocaine?
People.
I love cocaine.
It's all right, but not my fave. Not that big into uppers. No, I don't like. I mean, obviously, this is a fucking very obvious thing. I don't really like the idea of getting dosed.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Like they
Yeah.
dosed Big J with acid in his beer can.
That was
Like,
what. Yeah,
That's so shitty. Like
he
it's
said
just
that
like-
he was bummed too because it never really took off for him, and he was like, "I just had to be like mentally imploding around my friends where I was too disabled like by the drugs to jump in and be funny, but I also like I was way too
felt
aware."
betrayed and was
Yeah.
like, why'd my friends do this to me?
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't even like get that much. Like,
Yeah,
they
he's-
put like one tab in a beer can.
Yeah.
And he took a sip of said beer can, and everyone was like, "Ooh!" And like, as a person who's done plenty of acid and watched many of episodes of Cheers on
Hell yeah.
Netflix,
Hell yeah! Shout out. Where's our Netflix deal? Coming to you next year, episode 100 of Black.
where
Dude's gonna be-
nobody knows our name,
and they're really glad
sad
you.
you came. Anyway,
I like the end shot of that intro too, because that kid looks like Macaulay Culkin, but just like wasted. It's
I
like
used
it
to
was
just like
big
get
ears,
lost in
like-
that kid's eyes. Like I would just be like,
I know,
I
you
would
wanna
have a
kill-
beer with that guy.
Want to
dude.
smooch him? I am that
I
guy.
didn't want to smooch him.
I want to smooch him. He's a handsome
with
fella. I
him.
want to grab his ears and
I wanna
pull him to my fucking.
sunk his dink. But
There's this porn star with really big ears. I forget her fucking name off the top of my head. She's not really popular, but
Dumbo.
she does. She has like a short pixie cut, and it accentuates that she has gigantic fucking ears. And she fucked James Dean during COVID when he was doing that in New York City. Like,
Isn't he dead?
nah,
He's
he's
a porn star guy.
yeah.
I meant the actor.
Oh, you meant the rebel without a cause?
Yes.
Hey, that guy. Yeah, he died.
But as someone who's done LSD, I just know for a fact that one sip of a beer with a tab in it, like, wouldn't really do fuck all to you. I mean, unless that tab was like mega soaked or
How many
something.
sips of coffee did you take?
I don't know. There's a fucking leaf in there now.
Yeah.
Sips of coffee. What do you mean?
Yeah, I put LSD in your coffee.
That'd be fucking sick.
That would no, never.
I
I
take
hate
my
being-
son to speech therapy, and I'm like, I can't even fucking talk.
They sit you down. They're like, come on, dude, just you need this clearly as much as he does.
Picture my son talking while he's like babbling. I'm like, yeah, he's having some good points today.
He's making very sound. He's making very sound arguments.
This isn't a debate. This is fucking intro to speech class.
Kid, calm down. Like, we don't have to invade Poland.
My son is Hitler, just like Tom Brady.
Well, I don't know how far you wanna. I got a fun one for us today. I
got a
literally
pretty decent amount of notes.
I got a good chunk of
sweating
notes
my
today.
bag off here. We got 2 NASCAR races going to, but
Well,
we'll
I
hold
wanna-
off on that. I don't want to kill
Well,
it.
I have a question because you said you've been watching King of the Hill, or at least the last time when you were doing Dash or whatever, you were saying you were watching like King
I
of the
haven't
Hill.
been watching it as much. It just hasn't. I'm kind of beholden to what YouTube throws at me. And
Oh,
it just
right on.
hasn't been popping up on the homepage lately because I think they're getting kicked off of YouTube. Like
Yeah,
all
they're taking them. They're taking the full
The
seasons
Family
down.
Guy ones are going down too. Just
Damn.
like
Copyright
everyone, like there was a
bullshit.
good one last night I was watching. And everyone in the comments is like, "This will be gone tomorrow, but thanks for uploading." And it was like
Yeah.
a 4-hour long video of different episodes.
Damn,
But
Yeah.
I like watching King of the Hill and Family Guy to fall asleep too.
it's a great show. Yeah.
Nighttime.
Well, did you get to the episode with Johnny Force where Dale has to like give a race car driver his kidney and he keeps chickening out about it?
No.
I've
heard Dale Earnhardt was on King of the Hill back in the day.
I think that is who it is. I'm not entirely sure though. Is Johnny Force a real race car driver?
John Force is a legendary drag. I think they're called funny cars or something
yeah,
like that.
funny cars. Yeah.
He's like the all-time. He's like the Richard Petty or the Dale Earnhardt.
So he's a real.
Yes,
he's a real
still
person.
races.
Okay.
He's like 78, and they had the NHRA drag series on after the Xfinity race or the Cup race a few weeks ago, and I watched him win some tournament or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know shit about drag racing, but he won his race. He got a trophy. Did a speech. He sounds like who's that weird fuck. Gary Busey?
Yeah, he
Kinda
does.
sounds
No,
like that.
in the show he does. He kind of has like a because the whole point of that episode is that he claims he's like sick and he can't race and he needs a kidney, and Dale's the only blood donor or blood match or whatever for it. But then like it turns out it's a double cross and like Johnny Force doesn't actually need the kidney, but he's doing it on behalf of this like kid that's on the organ donor transplant list, and he's like really low on the list. So like as like a sign of like philanthropy, he's like,
I'll get you a kidney, kid.
Yeah, he's like, I can't use it, but this kid can, and Dale like ends up stealing his kidney and like running around town with it. It's a funny episode.
Dale is one of my favorite characters.
You know, he's like his character is loosely based on Hunter S. Thompson, right? Like that was like the brain
That's
inspiration. Yeah.
I watched a whole like 30-minute video the other day, not to go off into the weeds, but
all means.
about where Arlen would be, and it used like
Yeah.
all these different context clues from throughout the set. Like, oh, he said he had to drive to the airport, and it said it was 45 minutes away. These are a list of towns that are exactly 45 minutes from the Dallas airport.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
like,
say it's
blah,
like
blah.
Central Texas, kind of Central Texas, south of
I don't even
Dallas,
remember how it
between
wrapped
Austin.
up. It was such
Yeah.
a big autism rant about like the locale.
Was it that
of King of the Hill.
GeoGuessr guy?
Ah, dude,
That
he's
was
the best.
so
That's in
good.
my notes. That is in my notes.
Did you get the Rickroll
GeoGuessing.
one too?
No, but
Oh.
that's like a not a sport, but it's like a competitive thing.
Yeah.
Where
You ever played it?
no.
Oh, dude, Ian and I
They
played that
look
shit.
at like grass and they're like Zimbabwe. Put me
Yeah.
in South Zimbabwe, and they'll be like 50-mile radius. I'm
Yeah.
like, how the fuck? Like,
Well, that
I can't
dude.
remember like maps. Like, if you were like point out Mongolia, I'd be like somewhere on the right side. Like, you know, I think it's above China. I don't really remember.
No, you
but-
got that. You nailed it.
Oh, dude, I'm pretty fucking good.
Fucking killing it, brother.
I could be a geoguesser.
You could. It's free. You get a free. I think it's like 10 plays or something like that on it for free every day. You could buy it for like $4 a month or something. It is fun. It's a great time killer, but like you got to do it on a desktop because it's annoying.
I forget his channel name.
Yeah, I do too. It's like Hawk 2 or something like that. Yeah.
Something, but I enjoy his shorts more than I enjoy his long form content, because his long form videos is just like review bra style, being like sitting there and just like doing a challenge. And it's funny when someone's like, you can never guess where I am, and he's like, I know exactly where you are, and he's just like goes to some random field in the UK.
It's like Illinois.
Yeah, it's like,
It's
what?
like a factory.
It's so interesting. I want to give this guy a proper plug. Keep going though.
Well, because the King of the Hill-tism, there's actually like a whole wiki on it, like similar to like Wikipedia or like Trekipedia. There's a King of the Hill Wikipedia of all the, and I had to look this up because there's a episode. It's like about Hank's house getting mold, and he makes a comment about how his house was designed and constructed by the great grand nephew of a general from the Civil War in Texas called T.W. Kearney. Did you get the guy's name?
Rainbolt.
Rainbolt.
And his channel is Rainbolt 2. I
Yep.
don't know if his first one got deleted or something. He's
Probably.
got 1.41 million subscribers. He does not need a plug from us.
Yeah, shout
But
out.
he's just
though.
like a real suave, like autistic dude. Who,
Yeah.
like he's probably not.
No, he travels a lot, like, and he goes by himself. So yeah, he's definitely got a touch of the tiz.
I mean, who doesn't? But
That's
I don't wanna I don't mean that.
What are my first notes right there?
Sopranitism, Scotism.
Oh yeah.
That's perfect.
Right
That's
on.
a bit on the nose. No, I'm not saying this about this guy disparagingly. I enjoy the shit out of his videos, and I find it fascinating that someone could be that knowledgeable about this type of thing. I can't remember, like, it's cliche, but I can't remember what I ate for breakfast. Like, Tina tells me stuff all the time, and I'm like, wait, what? She's like, you remember when this guy came to our house and like fixed? And I'm like, when? Like, what the fuck? I'm fucking burnt. Big Mac's fucking dick smacked me in the back of the head, knocked the memory right out my damn nose.
Did you ever? You know how we were talking about? Like, this is one of my subjects. I don't mean to detract from this, but remind me to mention the San Quentin prison thing because of exactly what you just said. But to wrap up the Hank makes a passing comment about his house being built by the great grandson of this guy named T.W. Kearney or something. And he's it's a fictional character, but he's actually based on a real Confederate general that was the butcher of the South or something like he was a real bad dude. And it's just Mike Judge being ironic, being he's trying to be Hank's all proud of his house because of the craftsmanship and all this stuff, but it's the great grandson of this guy that killed 6,000 Indians or something. It's tongue-in-cheek humor, which is why King of the Hill rules. It's ironic
I'm
shit.
a real craftsman. I'm envious of Hank Hill's craftsmanship.
I was having a Hank Hill moment last night with my dad at the ballpark because I was sitting there. I was drinking, and I'm like, you know what, Jay? Down on that field, the grass that they play on is Tuckahoe turf. Every time I pop my shoes off at home and walk around in the grass, I feel like I'm playing at Citizens Bank Park. And he was just like, you're fucking hammered already. I was 3 deep. We went.
Give me the keys, retard.
I drove home.
Good parenting on his end.
Great parenting. We listened to War Mode, and it made him really uncomfortable because it's about Nixon procuring and working with the Finders Colts and stuff, and all the people. Watergate was this big
Why not
subversion.
the fucking keepers?
Fucking lose this week for school. Call that Camp David, son.
I'm fully committed to just going all chip the entire episode.
I don't mind, dude. Go for it.
Any opening, I'm fucking going for it.
See it open, I squeeze right in there with my giant
Kyle
pecker.
Larson on the last lap,
Oh,
brother.
fuck. Okay, so, yeah, the only other thing, you just mentioned, so King of the Hill, there's a whole Wikipedia, it's fucking hilarious. They'd sometimes on the DVDs too do DVD commentary in character, so it's Stephen Root is Bill Dauterive, and then Hank is naturally Mike Judge, and then he does Cotton, and he also does, they have Johnny Hardwick doing Dale, but they all play off each other in character, so there's one episode where they're all singing the theme song, but they're just saying King of the Hill over and over again in character. It's Cotton going King of the Hill. It's fucking hilarious.
I love shit like that.
Yeah. But yeah, King of the Hill rules. You said something about not remembering what you had for breakfast, and this ties nicely into one of my other notes, AI music. I don't know if that's in your notes.
I don't know. I don't think it's in my notes. But I put on I glued my balls to my butthole.
I glued my balls.
My mom literally looked up and she said, "What the fuck is this?" And I started dying laughing. And she's cracking up. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Joe sent it to me." She's like, "Oh, sounds about right."
Yeah,
and yesterday all day stuck in my head was, "I'm just rubbing and tugging my fucking nips."
So see you in hell. I don't give a shit. I'm just a rubbing and a tugging my fucking.
So ridiculous. Dude.
Hey Doc. Eat a cock.
I said to my mom yesterday, I wish my grandpa was still alive to show him these because he loved that style, that era
50s,
of music.
50s, swing, big band stuff like that,
shit.
Sinatra.
That was his shit. So to hear Weird Al Times, fucking that, would probably crack him up, dude.
Bro, shout out, rest in peace.
Glued my balls in my butthole would definitely make my grandpa laugh, dude.
It made Jay laugh so fucking hard because he's like, this sounds like it could be Chubby Checker or the Drifters, and I'm like, yeah,
legit. You can tell on some of the vibrato it's a little robot-y, but overall it's 8 out of 10. To a geezer, it could easily fool a geezer.
Everybody in the comments is I put this on at family dinner for my grandparents, so they had no idea.
They're not listening to the words this is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Those colors make decent music.
Reminds me of high school.
I got fingered by
you zoom in on the faces on the fucking.
Oh yeah, they're great.
So
oh my
creepy,
god,
dude.
They're so funny though. The Gabagool one is that I'm a fucking Gabagool.
That's a great one too, dude.
Got
what
a
is it?
cannoli in my
obscure music or something.
There's Obscure Vinyl. That's the one.
Obscurest.
Obscurest. Yeah, the most obscurest vinyl. I
Check
think.
them out.
Yeah,
that
very good.
should be one of our intro songs this week. Is fucking.
I was thinking about playing it. I don't know if we'll get a copyright because it's not technically real music. I mean, the artist might come after us, but I think I could just ask
if we plug them. Yeah, and just plug them in the bio or whatever.
Yeah, if you
that's a fair play, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say
trying to pump your shit up.
Yeah, but also it's we're doing we're observing it or whatever.
What's it called? Fair use.
Fair use. Yeah, we just want to. We like what you did. We just want to give you more play. That's just. And not that you need any help. Though I went fucking viral with the glue my balls. But anyway, but it ties nicely honestly until like you remember how you said there was like people commenting on that video about like that bitch like a bitch looks like she could use a fucking lamp.
That one lost me, but I was already like 5 AI songs deep.
But you were saying
like
what? On that one video, like it was unrelated to like AI. It was like a protest or something where a guy was being very rude to a black lady. He's doing an imitation of an animal she may or may not look like.
Oh, that was the.
And the guy.
I don't know what the protest was. They're calling it like White Boy Summer.
Yeah.
It took place, I think, at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Some big fat black lady was protesting pro-Hamas or anti-Israel or something, and then a bunch of Jewish frat kids came out and were
stars and stripes, baby.
They were very patriotic. They were none too pleased with her rhetoric, and that's they have that right. But a lot of people were not happy with the one gentleman. I think his name was like.
Kyle.
Fuck no! It got posted. It was like JT Smith or something.
JT Real Muto.
It's something like he got it. TJ. Fuck, I don't remember his fucking name. It got doxxed on Twitter, and he deleted his Twitter account. But there was a young, handsome gentleman, JT, we'll call him. He was jumping up and down doing gorilla noises at this fat black lady, and 90% of the comments were like, "This guy fucking rules. He's a hero.
He's a good
White
man."
Boy Summer's on." Like. I guess we're back. I don't know. People
back,
are like,
dude.
we're so fucking
back, dude.
Billy's
already declared that he's the king of White Boy Summer.
Then I was getting into big time arguments all week.
Well, but but specifically the AI thing about where you're like, you look like you could use a fucking lamp. Where like that was being
someone
posted,
commented that in that news article or something.
Yeah.
It's like she looks like she could use a fucking lamp, and I was like, what does this mean?
And then naturally I filled in the blanks for you. But yeah, so there's like these memes that have slowly been like like there was one I sent you about like remember the Gorilla Glue lady that like glued her hair to her head or something like that a couple of years ago during COVID. She like used Gorilla Glue as like hair gel, and then like it turned into a lawsuit, and then the internet was just making fun of her. So
I vaguely remember.
So there's another one similar to that, but it's with a chick that was using bleach in her eyes. So one of the AI songs is a meme about black chicks, like it's like a Motown song about black chicks bleaching their eyes. So
why was she bleaching her eyes? Did she have the African yellow eyes or something?
I forget the context of it, but it was like something cosmetic where it's like just use bleach and put them on your eyes.
You hear that about Asia? They do their eye rounding surgery, and then I think in Africa they bleach their skin.
Yeah, they do bleach part. Well, they also burn, and like they do the thing that like it's like a brand, but it's like they do it in patterns similar to a tattoo, where there's bleaching or like bleaching of the skin is involved in that somehow too.
So I have two things. There was a kid.
One, I'm hard.
Two, I'm very hard.
Three, fuck yeah.
The lady's got a pekka. One, there was a kid when I was like a freshman or sophomore. He's actually he is a commercial pilot now, but he was doing like his pilot training. Like I don't know if you get that at 16 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's Civil Air Patrol. You get to do 16.
His dad was a pilot. This is a good dude. I grew up with him, but he was a pot smoker in high school, and he had to get drug tested for this pilot program that he was in. So he was panicking, like he'd been smoking like regularly, like he was fucked, and he had to get drug tested that week. So he read somewhere on what were the forums for drugs? Yeah, Arrowhead or fucking. There's the one I used to go on was like the Shroomery or whatever that had all.
There's like
he read on one of these like
Psychedelia, I think is the other one.
Yeah, one of these like goofy fucking drug forums back in like the 2010s, and he reads that bleach. If you drink a small amount of bleach, like diluted with water, it will, clean out your system. You'll pass a drug test.
You'll die too. Like,
he does that. He literally like almost dies.
Yeah.
They have to call an ambulance because he's like retching on the floor, like, dying. He gets saved or whatever at the hospital, and then he admits to what he did, and then he was just telling all the bros in school and everything.
Fuck
like,
yeah,
it was a funny story.
OD'd on bleach,
he
bro.
owned it. Like he was like, I'm a fucking retard. He's like, I probably shouldn't do everything I read on the internet.
Yeah.
But he's like, I was scared that I was gonna get in trouble, and I almost died. So,
nice.
And now he's a pilot for like fucking US Air or something like that.
Hell yeah,
fucking
shout
bank. Out. Yeah, he's got sports cars and shit. He's living the dream. He took it real weird after that was like freshman or sophomore year, and then by like junior or senior year, he hit emo phase real late.
No.
And he was wearing like eyeliner and like the nail polish. That's pretty standard. But then the weird part was he was like a furry pre-furry. Like he was rocking this hoodie that had like legit like cat ears, and he would just be walking around, like doing shit like that.
Fucking weird.
And now he's like a totally normal dude. Like that was just like
it's a phase.
It was a weird year for my buddy, but like now he's
drank some bleach, saw some
he's
shit.
Literally just like a he's a regular like has a good job, career, owns a
Good for
nice
him.
car, owns a house. Like, he's killing it. But he was a cat for a year, and that's okay.
All right, so wait, but steering this back because I want to get back to how this is meme relevant. So you asked about that. So like, in my travels, just because of what you said specifically, there is this meme where it wasn't a meme; it was a story that someone on 4chan poll told about being a social worker that was doing like I think it was what's that that university that got in trouble for the Stanford prison experiment. So like Stanford has this
That's
weird
pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they're pretty fascinated with like I think it's just because it's like a humanities college, like they have a huge emphasis on nice chug-a-lug, baby. Hadn't done one on the cast in a while. Like it hits the spot.
That was slow.
Really wets your whistle.
That was slow. I could
But-
do way better than that,
Alright.
but I was just,
But-
I'm just chilling.
Yeah, right on.
I don't want to show off.
So Stanford had this experiment that they did where they were interviewing prisoners at San Quentin, and this dude on 4chan like dropped the story about when he was involved. He wasn't a prisoner; he was one of the students, and he was like, "I was like a teacher's assistant, and I had to go and I was present during the documentation and like visitation of like the prisoners like while we were doing the study. We studied like a couple hundred prisoners, from what he said, and basically our thesis was something about like IQ in correlation to like like your level and degree of like understanding like abstract thought and reasoning behind it. Like so if you're in this like 75 to 85 IQ range, they would ask you a question and you would be able to answer it. It would be like a pretty straightforward question, like what did you have for breakfast today?
I don't remember.
Well, that's just it. So like if you
Peanut butter.
So yeah, like
I'm pretty sure. I was making my son's peanut butter and jelly, and I was like, I'll take a couple spoonfuls of these to the dome.
Hell yeah.
I can't not. Peanut butter is just
It's addicting. It's
I don't
addicting.
even get
No,
me
it's
started.
addicting.
Don't even get me started.
It's an addiction. But okay, so then they would go like to try and gauge like if you were more intelligent than that, they would be like, okay, so what if you hadn't had breakfast today? And then like it's an abstract thought. So most of the prisoners who are like lower IQ would respond to, but I did have breakfast today. I did have prison today. Fuck yeah, got fucked in the mouth. But yeah, anyway, so like basically the thesis is that like the bulk, like something like 90% of prisoners are like.
It's my mail lady. Shout out to Kathy, dude.
Shout
she
out
rules.
Kathy.
I think that's her name. I don't remember. Sorry.
They're like
I never gave her a Christmas tip this year because I forgot, and now I feel like it's bad. And it's like, is it too late to like?
Christmas in July, baby. Just double it up.
Yeah, I always give the fucking mail lady a Christmas tip, but it was I don't know. I fucked up this year, and then I remembered it in like March, and I was like, now it's weird.
I mean, you got 2 months. Just give it to her in July.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said.
And we're back.
All right,
Sorry.
So, well, like I said, so this prison experiment, they basically determined that like 90% of prisoners are like fucking retarded, like they're sub 80 IQ. And there's this like meme that's been going around, and whenever you like have like one of those live streams that you find where you're scrolling through like shorts on,
The best.
it's just like a
best,
black
dude.
lady spouting off.
Prison TikTok.
Yeah, but well, no, it's like a black lady like spouting off to like 3 viewers about geometria and shit like that.
Gematria?
Gematria, whatever the fuck it's called. So whenever you like stumble on one of those, there's like always like 2 or 3 comments about like, yeah, but what if you didn't have something? What if you didn't eat breakfast? And then like someone will always chime in like, it's pointless, don't even bother, because like it's just it's a meme. I'm having a bad time explaining it. It's a very just look 4chan Stanford prison experiment up. I've sent it to you like.
What's the joke there? Being like
You're so dumb, you're so retarded that you don't even like you're sub IQ. You wouldn't understand the rationale or like the abstractness of this question to adequately answer it. So like she's so dumb because she's spouting off about like whatever numbers.
Gematria.
She's doing that, and it's like, yes, but what if you didn't eat breakfast today? And it's like it's like a fucking misdirection of a question. But if you know the joke, you just follow up and just be like, stop.
I thought it was a racism, being like.
Well, it is because the bulk of the prisoners are
yeah.
minorities,
Okay.
but yeah, but it's still.
That's what I was trying to drive at.
That's why it's like kind of like it's a touchy subject. One of my subjects today is very touchy, but yeah, AI.
Gematria is fucking retarded.
It's so stupid.
Touch on that. There was a guy when I saw Joe Rogan in Atlantic City. I still follow him. He goes by Gary the Numbers Guy on Twitter. He's been on ESPN. He predicts
Sports betting,
sports stuff, called several championships. But like, I feel like that's not impossible to do. Like if you're just a sharp to begin with.
Yeah.
And like if you're just picking like the Golden State Warriors to win the basketball finals, like it's just like, well, they're a fucking favorite. Good call. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Gary the Numbers Guy, he kept standing up. He was in the front row. He had like a duffel bag or an attaché case full of money, like probably like 50 to 100K or something. He kept standing up and flashing it to Rogan, and like Rogan's a fucking professional. He ignores it the whole time. But now he's in the last. he already closed. He's just like doing
Fucking
a little crowd
around.
work, thanking people for coming out. Yeah, fucking around for the last 15 minutes, just taking random questions and shit like that. And this guy keeps standing up, and he's like, "All right, buddy, you've been hollering at me all show. Like, what are you trying to say?" And he just goes, he's like, let me be on your podcast. I'll give you this money if you bring me on your podcast. And like he tries to hand him money, and Rogan's like, "Get the fuck out of here, man!" Like he's just like laughing at him and being like, "Dude, not in a million fucking years." Like
Yeah.
just roast him. And he's like, "What do you want to plug or whatever?" And he just goes, "GG33." And Rogan cracks up and he's like, "What is that? That fucking retarded gematria shit or whatever?" Just like roasts the guy.
Nice.
But I look him up on Twitter. He does have 100K followers or some decent following, and
People are
he
stupid.
apparently is a very lucrative sports bettor. But he's one of those guys you just got to buy his picks, and it's just like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of culty. He's got
Unimpressed.
a bunch of people like following him. He's big into like Chinese zodiac or whatever the fuck that shit is. Like
Oh my
the year
God,
of the
don't
dragon.
Don't
the
even
year,
get me
there's a dog.
started.
The Braves are a dog team, and the Yankees are a rabbit team. They're mortal enemies. The pitcher Roger Clemens, he's a snake. He's due to have a good year. Like literally
Shut
shit.
up.
Literally shit like that. Like you know what I mean.
I want to fucking punch. I want to go back in time and
The crazy
strangle
thing
this
is, I
guy.
used to not seriously,
No.
but with a grain of salt,
Yes.
follow this guy when I was full on like recycle kicking degen mode.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
was
like
just
if he's a winning bettor, I can understand.
yes,
like
he
that.
was.
Like
He was
that's
hitting
just it.
fat
Like,
parlays like all the time.
yeah,
but,
like that's understandable.
it's one of those things where the big gamblers like that, they're only posting their winning tickets.
Yeah.
Like he was betting 2-team parlays. Like it was pretty hittable parlays, you know what I mean? But he was betting 3,000-4,000 a ticket, cashing out 10,000. Like
totally.
He was making a living doing that and selling his picks. So I mean, shout out to GG33. But it was so funny
Your
just to see that he's so into that gematria
Gay guy,
shit.
33.
He's more, that's like his shtick. He's more of like a psychic teller, like that. Like he kind of like he's like a magician or something. Like he's like an act in a sense. Like I'm sure he believes his shit, but like that's his shtick. That's his bit. He's made it onto ESPN doing that. Whatever. But there's it's more of like a for fun thing. He'll be like, "What's your life path number? I can tell you different traits about you." It's like a carnival fucking act and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
It's cold reading.
He'll walk around on the Ventura fucking boardwalk and just do cold reading and shit.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. But the people, there's like serious conspiracy theory gematria shit.
Yeah,
Like just
it's
even like
fucking
the Dale
retarded.
Earnhardt being like he's the number 3 and there was a 3 on the roof. That's 33. 33 is the Masonic number of death. That's why Dale Earnhardt died. And it's like he ran that number for like 30 years. Like, and there's another 3 on the other side. You fucking it's so
stupid.
Like Stephen Curry's birthday is this, and that's why he is a Zionist. Like it's just like
it's very gay.
it's so beyond like white chick being like, "Oh, I'm a bit temperamental because I'm a fucking Libra," or
No,
whatever
you're just
my
a
girlfriend says. Yeah, whoa, that's my wife. That's my wife.
I didn't realize you were going with Tina with it. I just thought you meant like in general.
She was going through a fucking big time astrology phase when we first got together. One of those chicks you're texting and she's like, "What time are you born?" And I'm just like, "Oh, here we fucking go."
I hate the inverse of that too. I hate the chicks that make you take a personality test. Are you an INTPJ or whatever? It's like, no, I'm
LGBTQ.
Yeah, it's sort of fucking. I got big tits.
Whoa,
Me,
little fucking. No,
look at me. No, dude, I ate fucking 5 hot dogs and like drank like easily 12 beers yesterday. Like, I
Got
have
them
tits.
sodium tits.
I have tits.
My
like-
nipples are probably the size of bologna right now. It's
Look
so
at-
hot,
look
dude.
at- look at
you ever look
this.
at your nipples when you're
Yeah.
hot? They just grow like 10 sizes. Dude.
My-
You're like,
my
what
one-
the fuck?
My one ex-girlfriend used to comment on how like my nipples do get bigger and smaller when they contract
Yeah.
real hard when I get cold.
When
And so,
I'm
like,
cold,
tweak 'em.
I have no complex. And then when I get hot, I'm like, I have fucking baloney nipples, dude. What is going on? Yeah, I looked up the cost of gynecomastia surgery. It's only $4,000. I'm like, it's not even. Back in the day, it was 10. Go and get my tits sucked out by a vacuum. I'm a new man.
I'll suck your tits for $400.
No,
I'll suck your tits for $4.
I mean you could suck them right now, but
Come
you're gonna
on, let
razor
that-
blade in the
come
shop
on,
vac.
Yeah, come on. Let Daddy have his fun.
We'll go to the fucking car wash tomorrow morning. We'll put $4 in the machine.
Just-
Fuck.
Did you ever see the 1,000 Ways to Die where the dude gave himself liposuction with a shop vac and he just literally sucked his esophagus? He sucked his esophagus. Like what killed him was his esophagus
dude.
lining went.
I'd
like, he
rather
suck-
just be fat.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I don't mind being.
I'd rather
chubby.
go for a run. Surgery scares me. Like
Yeah, especially when they're putting gold in your
having
face.
fucking man boobs sucks, but like dying on an operation table because some gook had a hangover and fucked up your anesthesia sucks way more.
Dr. Patesh.
It's my irrational fear. I really don't. I'm a control freak. I want to drive when I go on a trip. I don't like flying because, I don't want to fly, but I'm not the one flying the plane. I have no control in the outcome. I don't like surgery because what if you don't wake up? I know there's 9 zillion surgeries a day and only 35 of them end up with someone dying. But, I have pretty shit luck. Like, you know what I mean? I
don't have my phone on me, but there actually is a Russian doctor that performed an appendectomy on himself because and they're like, he did it because it was like a necessity and he was the only one qualified to do it, but he just didn't trust the people.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, there's a picture of it. He's like all surgical scrubbed up and he's got his own appendix out. He just gave himself local anesthesia.
Here, you're not even supposed to do surgery on like relatives, right?
There was a guy that got popped in Florida back in the Ripley's Believe It or Not days. He was on Ripley's Believe It or Not for giving himself liposuction on like on TV, and they shut his practice down. He had to like go to a different state, shit like that.
Fucking dumb.
It is.
Yeah. I wouldn't get regular lipo. Like the gyno thing is just for like so I could take my shirt off at the beach without feeling like a fucking carny freak.
You still can.
I do. Yeah. I do. I go to the beach. I take my shirt off. What are you gonna do? But like, I want to like feel not like a fucking dickhead when you know what I mean? Like it's definitely one of those things that's bothered me since I was a kid. Never thought I'd be talking about this on the internet. Well, but why the fuck not?
Here, my ex-girlfriend told me I should get a tummy tuck because like I lost weight so rapidly. I have like a bit of a paunch.
I have the paunch too, dude.
And she's like, you should get a tummy tuck. And I was like, now I have that in my head. I don't want that. Like, but you clearly want me to get it. So like, fuck. Like
remember like 2 years ago, I lost a bunch of weight. I was down to like 180. Yeah, like I had a fucking floppy gut, dude. It's weird. You look like you gave birth to 10 puppies. But
there was a chick on the boardwalk the other day that like clearly was just like recently pregnant, walking in a bikini, just like trying to like keep that. She's like she wanted it.
They pull it up higher to try and keep everything together.
No, it's like it's this cheater thing that chicks do now, where it's like you just wear a fat person's bikini bottom because you can pull it, like you can give yourself as much camel toe as possible without it being
drawing the eyes to the front.
Yeah, but like it's without.
Center.
But it's like they're basically pulling their bikini up over their like belly button. Like there's like it's not a bikini. It's you're wearing like granny panties.
Me, I'm a bro. And I don't wear my pants above my belly button.
No, I don't either. I don't have high hips. I have a small torso.
My whole life, you gotta pull your pants up, and I'm like, even before I was fat, when I was like 6, 7, like I wasn't fat until I got into like, second or third grade. I got chubby or whatever, but I was like a skinny kid, and my pants always felt comfortable, like right under the gut. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel up here feels fucking weird. Like I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like I
feel like a cholo.
It just feels like very uncomfortable. I think because I do have a fat gut and it's just pushing on that fucking.
You got a little fupa. It's like drawing a little.
It's so
fupa.
much nicer just to let your gut hang. Dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
what are you staring at me gut for?
Yeah, dude.
Fuck that. Who cares? Like
Tina always busts my balls. You gotta pull your pants up. And even my mom when I was a kid, and my grandma, and my grandpa,
shut
just
your
like
fucking mouth.
All of them. You shut up.
Like
fuck, dude. I hate
being criticized.
You wear your
about
fucking pants around your belly button, dude. You're sus. Let your gut hang.
Yeah, right. Well,
fucking.
Why are you
sucking it in, dude? I'm letting it fly right now.
I don't
give a fuck.
I don't get this fucking like we're gonna dress like frumpy French painters right now, and then like they have the audacity to criticize me for fucking dressing like
wearing a goddamn Dale Earnhardt shirt to a fucking formal dinner.
Yeah. What? Is that a Sopranos-tism?
That's me.
Oh, okay. Just regular tism.
I wear my Dale Earnhardt shirt to like nice occasions.
No,
it's a collared shirt.
No, like there's like this like aesthetic where like hot chicks that like 12, 15 years, like when we were in high school, the same exact
they wear that French painter hat.
They've got like dumb berets on, or that Samuel L. Jackson Kangol hat. They wear an oversized flannel because Billie Eilish does it. They wear makeup that makes them look like juggalos unintentionally. They're all
remember the wings.
Yeah, that, and it's fucking irritating. But then they wear these like fucking Docker, like either Docker or no, not Docker, what dungaree jeans that are like pulled way too high, like almost up to their fucking armpits. It's not a thing.
Like they call it mom jeans.
You fucking cunts need to get your heads out of your fucking asses and dress like if you're.
We're not making a western.
No,
here.
We're absolutely. This is a okay. What's it mean? Pukyak. Cunt. Here we go. There we go. Bumping dicks. I'm gonna put my dick out and bump that. Touching tips instead of
do a bump off your dick.
Oh fuck yeah, I love that. when a man's cock is just.
What were you just talking about?
No, just like I hate this aesthetic. It's like I hated '90s fashion. I thought '90s grunge fashion was the most physically revolting fucking.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I don't like the whole yoga pants era.
Also, completely agree.
Leaves nothing to the imagination.
And fat chicks.
You got
now,
me committing
like,
a hate crime in the goddamn shop, right?
Dude, it's a thing
I'm
where
committing essays just taking way longer than my 3-second stare. You know what I'm saying?
Well, first of all,
it's biologically
you're not wearing pants. You're not.
No,
You're not wearing pants. It's like no different than if you were to put
the
on.
same chicks to be like, why are you staring at me?
Because your fucking muffler's
I'm not
hanging
even
out.
trying to. Like, it's just like this fucking homing device that turns my head that way. And I'm looking for strawberries.
There's a word for the gap in your thigh that you're wearing Lululemons that give you. It's called a perineum gap, and you're specifically wearing Lululemons. Which, by the way, shout out to the creator of Lululemons for making.
You're just like naked with blue pants on.
Pause.
Sorry.
Pause. You'll like this. The creator of Lululemon got kicked out of his own company because when they asked him why he named it Lululemon, he thought it would be funny to hear Korean chicks say it.
Base. Dude,
I'm not even fucking kidding. It's so fucking funny.
We need to have that guy on.
Yeah, right. I mean, Cumtown was the one that turned me on to that, but like, yeah, still fucking.
Is that real?
It's absolutely real. You can look it up.
Was their target demo Korea?
I think he just made he was a businessman. I think he just happened to be in Asia when he
made a joke in a boardroom one day.
No, he was. He made the company, and the company was successful for years. And then they're like, "Why did you name it Lululemon?" He's like, "I thought it would be funny to hear Asian people try and say." Yeah, like exactly. He's a fucking master troll. And then they fired him from his own company. They bought him out.
Should have taken that one to the grave, bro.
That's hilarious, though. No, you know what, dude? Fuck it. He stood on his principles. Like,
if we ever have any modicum of success, like we're so doomed just from my recent social media actions.
Absolutely.
I was just going full old Miss JT, the frat Jew bro. On this black chick on Twitter, I just kept sending her monkey gifs, Planet of the Apes gifs, and she was sending me like white people. Like we were race duking it out, and then
it's fun though. Sometimes
I think it was a stalemate. You know, I think she had her shots, I had mine, and it was all amicable at the end of the day.
That's good.
So that's fine.
That's just it. You got to throw some heavy
I was
shots.
real upset after the NASCAR race. I don't like Hendrick Motorsports. I don't like Kyle Larson. I know it was a great finish. I know it was a photo finish.
Wait. Before you get into
these debates, this isn't even about NASCAR.
Okay, before you get in there
was someone in there. And we're arguing it out the night after the race or whatever, and I'm still all fired up. I'm mad that the guy door slammed my guy. He kind of not dirty, but kind of dirty. Like, you know what I mean?
Jake, we got a segment that has NASCAR.
But someone went at me in this group while we're duking it out about who should have won and blah blah blah. Just being total fucking idiots. They have a tranny flag in their name, and then I click on their
I'm already a little steamed up.
And I click on their page, and it's like, trans woman, blah blah blah. Fuck this lady, man. Whatever. I have friends who are trans. It's just if you come at my neck in an argument,
I'm gonna use the ammo I have in my fucking arsenal. You're not winning this.
I was calling someone a tranny freak isn't tame, but she came at my neck hard, and I was like, no one fucking asked you, you fucking tranny freak. Go fuck yourself. Ooh. I'm permanently banned on Reddit.
Hell yeah.
I made 7 new accounts last night, different emails, different phone numbers, different everything, every option where you can make an account. I've probably made about 10 Reddit accounts in the last year or two, just from calling someone a faggot or a pussy, and then it's just a boom, permanent ban. It's a permanent ban, like immediately. But I've been able to go around it by making other accounts. I am
IP blocked.
I'm banned, dude. I'm gonna have to go on like Tina's laptop to fucking use Reddit. I tried for like 2 hours last night.
That's
and then
hilarious.
Every time, exactly 15 minutes later, I'll get a message. Your account's been permanently banned.
Nice.
I'm like, God damn it, dude. Did it to myself. But yeah, I've
been committing commit to the bit, man.
Hate crimes all over the internet.
It's not a hate crime. You're just free. Your freedom of speech.
By definition, is a hate crime.
No, it's not. Only
this girl's bio too was. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's not accurate.
I went on her TikTok afterwards because she had that in her bio, and I was like, you're such a fucking loser on that. Pretty sure I got banned on that. I didn't say anything too bad. I was just like, you're a fucking clown. I went at her strategically to where, this is kind of within the guidelines. I'm not saying curse words. I'm not saying hate speeches. But the comment got like deleted automatically, and like I can't even banned off TikTok. So... And some of these accounts that I'm going at this person are like my real name, and then the other ones are like Blacktooth Podcast.
Sweet.
Like, she can full on pull
this
up. We
did get 2 subs since the last ep. I wonder,
probably her.
Hey, shout out, you big baboon.
As soon as we get monetized, we're gonna get fucking canceled. Like if that ever happens.
This is
it's a
never
long
gonna
shot.
happen.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to cruise on sponsorship like every other podcast. Just don't monetize.
We're not cruising on anything. We lose money doing this.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, you wouldn't know. I lose money doing this.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
I could have made $20 the last hour doing DoorDash.
Okay, so I have a segment idea because I think that you haven't been gambling, but you have the itch. So
I don't have the itch, but when I go to AC, if I'm there, I'll throw 100 to have fun. I got caught once on my birthday or Dom's birthday, I forget, and I punted like 300 in like 20 minutes, and like I was just like, this is why I don't. I was chasing.
You won that one time when we were there with Dom, though.
No, I broke even. I lost 100 on craps. I made my 100 back on blackjack, and I walked away.
Who's mad? Who's mad?
That's what I want to do. I want to have fun. I do get caught up sometimes. I do have degenerate gambling in my blood. I'm a fucking American. Who doesn't? But
shout out, cocksucker.
Shout out to me, mom.
Salute the flag.
Shout out to me, mom. She used to put like 10,000 in a fucking slot machine in one night. She would sit in the gold room on the slots and just feed Benjamins into them. Chain smoking Marby lights and just sipping on Bush lights, dude. Real classy.
I wish your grandmother
Coors Lights if they didn't have the Bushies.
was still alive so that I could take her and live out her dreams. Oh my God.
She took me when I was like 21 or something. We got a room. She was letting me hack darts in the room. She quit cigs like 15 years ago, but she's like, I still love the smell. And she was just encouraging me to chain smoke.
Fucking what a
my
legend.
throat hurt the next morning. Her line when we woke up in the morning, I was so hungover, and she was like, "We drank enough to float George Washington down the goddamn river last night." Some fucking old-timey hillbilly bullshit.
Fucking right, dude. Shout out me, mom.
She was fine. She was like a doctor. She drank more than me. She drank me under the table. She was fine. She took a shower, got her makeup on. I looked like death walking out of that fucking place. I was hungover for like 2 days. She like went to a doctor's appointment, fucking handled her affairs the next day.
Fucking A right, she did.
She was a professional,
This
man.
was Cody, right? That was her.
Corey.
Cody.
Cody.
Sorry. My bad. I knew she had a nickname. Reitz.
Her real name was Rita, but
Corey Reitz.
Reitz Corey McColl. She went by Corey. She was one of these weird people that change people's names. My mom's name's Eleanor.
Dude,
she called her Jude.
Yeah.
She called Jan Charlie.
Dude.
Swore it wasn't racist. Definitely was a little racist. My grandma was racist as fuck. She had one black friend. She called her Black Betty. Black something.
Oh my fucking God.
Brown Betty.
Brown Betty rules.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Whoa, Brown Betty.
She was from the old school.
So what is it with grandmas being like real? Like I think there was just like this old echelon of badass grannies that we just are not. Now they're all
dying
Karens.
off.
Well, dude, my Russian grandma was both my grandmothers. Shout out Dolores too. She was I'll have Jay on. We could talk about Dolores one of these days. But
Dolores is an ultimate
Dago name, and it's not, and not only that, the exact same
thing.
It's
a Dago name. I just thought it was a granny name.
No, it's a Dago name. She's Dolores, but her real name is Yolanda. But in Italian, Yolanda is correlated with tears.
What are they short Dolores to? Is it Dory? Is it?
Dude, she was just always Dolores, but she had this like retarded kid that came over to her house. Or I don't know if he was retarded, or just like had like a speech impediment or something. But he kept calling her Auntie Lorphus, and so from there on out, everybody just called her Dolorphus. Rub her the wrong way too. Don't fucking call me that.
Dolufus.
But Grandma Dolores rules. She was my Italian grandma, but same thing. Changed her fucking name like 3 times because it was like her birth name was like correlated with tears or something. So she went by Dolores, or no, Yolanda was not. Or Dolores was tears and Yolanda was something. Anyway,
my grandma changed her name, and this was the time where I feel like you could just change your shit and get out of town. She told my grandpa she was from North Carolina. My grandpa was a cop. I think my grandma had some warrants in the 70s or the 80s. She had this whole like persona of like she grew up in the South and blah blah blah, and she like grew up in like a bumfuck town in like Central Jersey.
Give me the fucking wiki, Dingleberry.
It might be windy. I don't give a fuck. It's so close. I was just breaking your balls, but the only thing that leads me to think that too, she used to do like speed back in the day, like, and my aunt, God rest her soul, she passed away a few years ago. Aunt Trish, she told me stories of, like going to softball practice. My grandma was a coach. Coached my Aunt Trish's team back in the day, softball. We're way off in the weeds here, but smoking weed. She told me stories about my grandma back in the day, like going to softball practice. My grandma she was skinny as a kid, but she always struggled with her weight throughout adulthood, like kind of up and down, yo-yo dieter type, like crash diet, lose weight, skinny for a year. And one of the things that she used in her tool belt to lose weight was fucking speed. And
70s and 80s is
she had a freezer storage bag full of shards.
Holy shit!
And showed my aunt and like her friends, and she was like, "This is how you lose weight, kids."
Holy fuck, man!
And I tried to tell my dad that story. That like I think my grandmom was fucking nuts. Like was certifiable. Like especially pre-dementia. Like when she was still all there, she was a fucking lunatic.
She's the grandma
Love her to
from
death,
fucking
but
what is it? Shameless.
She was sick in the head. Yeah, she was the fat version of that. But I said to my theory back when I first heard the story from my aunt, I was trying to talk to my dad about it. I'm like, I think she's so fucking nuts. She had dentures like in her late 30s. I'm like, I think she was going hard on the fucking speed. Like, lost all her teeth. When I was a kid, she told me it was because she was on a lot of medications. Like, she was a sickly kid and stuff, but I'm not saying it didn't happen, but, you know, lost all your teeth, fucking mental as hell, and you did a ton of meth in the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, these are plausible fucking conclusions to draw. And my dad was like, absolutely not. You're fucking crazy, whatever. Didn't even want to hear it. He's like, no, that's just how she is. I'm like, no, I think she's a fucking nut because she did a ton of meth. Like, I don't.
Grandma was fine.
Anyway.
But, well, my grandma, not on the drug, sort of.
I don't even know if she snorted it or smoked it.
Probably
She told me
smoked
they
it,
would put it
probably
in their
both.
coffee and like
Yeah.
stir it up, and they called it like jackrabbit or something weird like that.
there was
Like, she was
also-
a waitress, so they would all be doing it, and they would literally just dissolve it in coffee and like literally called it jackrabbit.
There was these ones called Black Betties that you probably have heard shouted out.
That was her
in
friend
rap.
Brown Betty.
Yeah, Brown. Fucking A.
She was my best friend.
She's
Back
my
then. I'm not
best- try-
racist.
Trying
I'm
to
doing
snort,
meth.
trying to snort my friend. Stop licking me. Yeah. But no, there's these things called Black Betties or Black Beauties maybe.
Black Beauty.
Yeah, so they're like shouted out in rap songs like from the 80s and shit too, because it was like before like there was like Ludes and Betties and Greenies and like Yellows and shit like
Green
that.
Rockets or Green
Yeah,
Hornets or something.
yeah. There's like all these like nicknames for them. They're all just
Yellow Jackets.
yeah,
or-
they're just all amphetamines basically, like of different varieties and like potency and whatnot. But
It was just 80s Adderall, basically.
no, this was like the 60s, and then like the 80s was like they just start like bikers
They
started.
brought back chocolate from
The-
the fucking Nazis.
The
Just kidding.
Pervitin.
Just
Oh
fucking
yeah. Well, no, Pervitin was its own kind of meth. That actually is the subject today. Anyway, but no.
I
So
actually brought some to try.
No.
I got this on eBay for $200.
you can buy a Pervitin, like an empty Pervitin container, but it usually will get seized at customs. There's people that get them through somehow though, but like it's
There's
like
got to be somewhere on this planet an uneaten Pervitin bar.
no, there's a ton of them. Like there's a bunch of them. They're just in museums and shit.
Let's do it.
Fuck yeah, like, fucking
On the air.
Yeah, right.
I've
Like-
never messed with any amphetamine.
Well,
I did Molly once.
hang on,
and it was
so-
definitely cut with amphetamine, but
I
that's
mean,
about it.
So my grandma was like notorious in like the 50s for being a greaser in Detroit.
She like running numbers like Joe Rogan's grandmom or whatever.
Like so she was with like a bunch of dudes that used to chop cars and shit like in Detroit and like sell. So she would get caught sneaking out and like going and hanging out with the greaser guys. So my great grandfather
Sunking their dicks.
yeah, like
Nice,
and running
dude.
like stealing cars, fucking breaking into places, shit, like generally being a
Getting
fucking
plowed
degenerate.
by a greasy fucking
in
gorilla.
a fucking hoop skirt, jerking off dudes that look like James Dean, the
Had a
one that you were
fucking
talking
sock
about.
hop eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah, and then fucking like snorting fucking powders out of fucking
Getting
like
pounded while wearing roller skates.
yeah, hell yeah, dude. So like grandma
With,
was a degenerate, and she would like so my grandfather stole like he figured out that like she would sneak out at night, so he stole the distributor cap off his car and like had it under lock and key in the house. So my grandma figured out how to
Her husband?
no her her father,
father.
my great grandfather.
Yeah, you said grandfather, and
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
His name was Jita.
She was being a badass with a husband. I mean, that's just before her time. City
what?
girls up.
What?
You said grandfather, so like in my head, it made it sound
Oh,
like
yeah.
you didn't say great grandfather
Grandpa-
first.
yeah, yeah.
So I thought she was married at this time and was running around getting plowed in roller skates.
No,
at the sock
she was
hop.
like 15 at this time. Like
Damn,
probably younger
dude.
than that. Probably like 12 or 13 to be completely honest with you. But yeah, like
right.
it's the dark
Settle
Rock Joe
down.
Rogan. You ever read The Jungle? Like she was like on like the tail end of like the first and second generation of like Polish people that moved into like Polish and Russian people that moved to Detroit. There's like a book called The Jungle. It's about Chicago, but it's like about these like immigrants that basically like just live like abysmally poor and like are like dying in factories, and like their kids have to like prostitute themselves out, and they're like the only source of heat in the entire like commie block building is like one person's oven, so they're just like feeding a wood burning oven gasoline and like newspapers and the clothes off their back. People are freezing. It's a terrifying book, but it's pretty good. Upton Sinclair wrote it. I read it as a freshman in high school. But
I'll
anyway,
have to head down to the Cape May County Library after this and check it out.
I have a copy of it if you'd like it.
I still got to read Word New Jersey and return that before I fucking.
Yeah, keep that for a little while. It's a good one to read while we're taking a shit. But so grandma used to, my great grandfather used to steal the distributor cap and have it under lock and key at his house. So my grandma figured out how to like get her own distributor cap and rewire the engine so that she could get out and just fucking drive, like joyride, go pick up her friends and whatnot. And
Now, would she do the old school thing where I heard like they used to push their car like halfway down the street and then
totally.
like bump start it and shit?
Yeah, and like when you're coming in, you get like a good clip of speed, you kill the engine, throw it in neutral, and then coast in and whatnot. Yeah, shit like that. So
I still do that.
I do it too for fun. Like
I
just
don't
on
push
50.
my car out, but I mean,
well, so like she was doing all that stuff, and same thing. My grandmother had like when she died, we had to go through her affairs and get everything sorted. She had 4 last names, and I think she had some like fucking warrants or something. Like
you just remind me. That's the whole reason I brought all these stories up is because my grandmom's birthday was like June 21st, 1942. That says I knew it, or 44.
Okay.
And we found a license, and it said like August. Like her birthday was 44, and this license we found from like the 70s or the 80s, it said August 42.
It's probably her fake ID says she could work.
For like while on unemployment or something?
No, like so she could work underage. Like she was. You said she moved to Atlantic City.
She was already had kids and a
Oh,
home.
okay. She might be fucking. What they used to do a thing where you could
She was
load up on
divorced from
credit.
her first husband before my grandpa for a while, so I don't know what went on during
Might be
those
some,
years.
like,
She was living in a
credit
camper.
scams.
Yeah,
Like she's probably pulling.
I mean,
some
they had a
rickies.
water bed fucking business, and my grandpa always theorized that they hit it with Jewish lightning and fucking because it was a failing business. And they fucked up and they burned down the whole strip mall, and it was a whole big
fuck,
thing.
man.
But
holy shit.
allegedly.
No names, cocksucker.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the business, but my grandpa had a waterbed for like 30 years because of it. It was literally called like Tropical Island Waterbeds or something, and they had like a panda and some bamboo.
It's the tropical island, like off the
It
coast
was
of
something
Vietnam.
stupid, dude. The name was. I'm like, no wonder this fucking thing failed. A waterbed business. My family's had a whole bunch of weird businesses. Like my uncle Buck tried a few different sports memorabilia stores, like just weird, different, just fucking. I don't know. My grandma selling waterbeds. What the fuck do I know, Joe Rogan?
Well, my grandma ended up like working for the county, so she had like her official name and everything, like retired and everything, and then like she died, and it was like, yeah, grandma spelled her last name like 3 different ways, and then just like straight up had like a different name like for something, and it was like a mixture of like credit scams that she was like running, because like she was like always like bumming out on credit and like running out of town. And
Probably what it was on my end too. I was
like,
wondering what the motive would be to have a different year. And, you know, instead of going by Rita, now you're going by Corey.
And then there's also, like, she had, like, an ex-husband that she wanted to, like, keep excommunicated, so she didn't want to be found. So that was one of the motives. Like,
that
plus
probably should have been...
plus a fresh line of credit under that name, too. So
I think that could have been her situation as well. Because she was, like, literally, after she left her first husband, she was living in Pine Haven Campground in, like, a camper for, like, 6 months, just, like, laying low. It was an ugly divorce. I don't know. He used to hit her and stuff.
Jeez, sorry, bro.
They're all dead, so it doesn't matter. Even my biological grandfather has since passed on.
Dead. Just
He
like
was
Ron
a
said.
real piece of work.
Well,
we don't need to go. We'll probably get banned if I talk about his fucking crimes against humanity. But.
Well, okay, this is a perfect springboard. So I want to play a game with you because, like I said, when you get in the DGen itch, I feel a little DGen itch on my own part. I've been going to the casino a little bit more.
What happened
lately.
at the Trop the other day, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Joe's been committing some hate crimes of his own. Don't let him fucking fool you.
Yeah, I was yelling at a Chinese man that he needs to get his shit together because he's Asian. But
that's fair.
I mean, like, it's not like I said it to his face either. I was like walking away and muttered it, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "JS or BS or whatever I said." And it was like I like was hyped up like when I told you, but it wasn't like I was like screaming this in this dude's face. Just I walked over.
I get it.
I walked over. I said something unsavory to the table because they're like, "No, just get on the wait list." I'm like, "No, you don't understand. This wait list never moves because they don't open tables. They say they're going to. I'm going to be standing here in my car. It's 10:30. I'm going to be standing here till noon. Like I'm not doing that. Like this is bullshit." So I like. And then
Why is that? How many people are waiting? Can they just start another game?
They're more than welcome to. It's that they schedule no dealers for poker, and it's like they deliberately do that because Atlantic City doesn't like poker players, and like they have these poker.
They're not
hosts.
merely making much off poker.
They're not.
They get their rake.
They get their rake, and they
probably
have
just trying to get you in the door, hoping that you hit the fucking craps table on the way out or something.
They have to pay the bad beat too, which is like $25 unaccounted $4,000 that's just like sitting in escrow in that room that they have to dole out, and sometimes it's used as like the casino's like, hey.
What's the bad beat?
Bad beat's a jackpot, so you need to have a hand better than quad. Most places it's like quads. Like you need to have quads over quads or better. So like you need a hand that's like quads versus a straight flush, a royal flush, or quads and lose. So the loser gets. It's a prize pool. Every hand.
Why not dirt bikes?
Good one, Chip. Anyway, but yeah, it's a bit. Why not a good beat?
So it's like one of these.
It's
not
like a progressive.
side bet,
It's a progressive
do you have
jackpot.
to put money on the bet?
No, they take money from the rake and put. So like a way that Jersey does it is you max $6, but $5 of those dollars go to the rake. $1 of those dollars goes to the bad beat. So every hand that's played, the bad beat jackpot goes up. So like most of the time it starts at 10.
Have you seen people hit it?
I watched people hit it at Borgata twice in a day.
For how much? How much cake we
That was
talking?
like 10 because they had to dilute everything because there were so many games and so many bad beats got hit that they were offering 100 thou at first, divvied up 9 ways amongst the table and the dealer.
So everyone at the table gets a chunk?
Oh fuck yeah, dude! You hit one of those, you're like everybody's best friend. Everybody just usually like.
I thought you just got the
No,
money.
no.
So you lose a hand on a bad beat,
and you
and
get
your whole table gets paid.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so you lose
You're like a celebrity for the rest of the afternoon,
dude. Right? So like when it's like 100K too, they divvy it up. I think the ratio is 50, 25, 25. So 50 goes to the loser, 25 goes to the winner, or no. It's 60 20 20. That's what it is. 60 20 20.
20 to the rest of the table.
20 to the rest of the table, and then 20 to the winner of the hand.
I like that. You
Yeah.
know, I come up off someone else's misfortune.
That's just it. When it's 100 grand, you're making something like after taxes, it's like 8 grand. You just like you're not even involved in the hand,
not even
and you're making $8,000 of gross
inconsequential to
profit.
you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like it's a cool way to play. But yeah, like anyway, so like what what they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent people from hitting that, so they like not that specifically. There's other reasons too. They're not making much money off poker, so they do everything they can to make poker players like powerless in these situations. One of which is you open the only one table. Oh, I need to generate interest for the second table. Well, I'm interest, motherfucker. Bring a dealer down here, get the first one going, so people will walk by and see cards flying and want to sit. And like they're like, no, we can't do that. It's like, yo, fuck. Like, so that's the whole esteem of this. And I've been through this like 3 times in the last 2 months, where like Tropicana has specifically just been like, you're beat, and I'm like, yeah, this is fucking retarded. I'm not playing here. And this guy just was like, I just was like muttering, like the other people at the table, like if you just sit down, you'll generate issues. Like, no, this is happening all the time here. I'm not gonna be fucking sat.
Is there other rooms to go to in the city at this time of day? Can you hit up Borgata?
Yeah, I went to Borgata. They had a long wait list, but their Bravo was inaccurate, so I didn't hold that against them. Bravo just, I guess, was fucking shit in the bed. That's an app that you use to check it out from your phone.
Gotcha.
Oh, what the wait lists are, that is. Anyway, yeah, so that was me being...
That kind of sucks. You think you can just walk in and gamble, but like you legit... You got to wait for 2 hours in a casino. You're going to lose your whole bankroll in fucking video poker before the fucking first half hour.
That's the idea, too. They know that you'll go play a game with a higher rake. Yeah, it's like the philosophy's there. You know why they're doing it. It's just like you're powerless. So, like, but it's like the juxtaposition, using our word. When I went to Florida and I played at Bonita Springs, their card room was just a card room. So it's not a casino, and there's a bar and a grill attached to it, but it's like there's only card games. You cannot play, like you can't play like some card game. Like you're allowed to play anything that's poker related. No blackjack, no pie gow, no
just poker because
just
it's a game of skill or something.
Yeah,
like how they get away with it in bowling alleys.
Yeah,
they have the poker tournaments.
And that's why anyway, it was unrelated, but yeah, that's why I was trying to like talk to Dom, because I'm like, yo, if you know like a gaming attorney, like hit me up, but he doesn't, so I have to go through my own means.
He's literally just like
he's just running a game. That's like, it's not.
He doesn't run a game. He just goes.
Participates.
He just goes to the Elks like once a week and like plays in like a local friendly game.
Yeah,
like,
it's just fucking.
It's technically illegal though. Like
that's totally legal.
No, technically not. It's just frowned upon or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Masturbating in an airplane.
Hey.
Thanks, Osama. Sorry, looking for the spark.
You're good, buddy.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know any attorneys.
No, it's fine. He's
literally just like a dude that like likes
poker.
to play blackjack on DraftKings and like likes to hit the local game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if he's ever played poker in Atlantic City. Like he's just a casual, you know what I mean?
Anyway,
he's gotten into it.
What I was
Shout out to Dom.
Yeah, shout out Dom.
His dog passed away at like 3 a.m. last night.
Fuck, man, the cane, the Cane Corso, the little one.
The little Yorkie.
Poor thing, man.
They had 2 Yorkies. One passed away about a year or 2 ago, and then this one is like his wife's shadow.
Oh,
like
man.
she like followed around.
Yeah.
It's been expected. She had cancer of the face for like the last 2 years.
Yikes.
Trouble breathing, and they had a snafu with their vet. They're trying to, you make the tough decision. You're gonna have to, put her down.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's like quality of life. Like it's like as a pet owner, when it's time. You're like, this is really bad. Like
I wish I could do this with siblings.
When my grandma was dying, I was like, I wish I could just like shoot her up with that pink juice and like get this. Like this is inhumane to watch her gargle for 3 days. Like, this is fucking terrible.
Should ask me. I'll lend you the Glock. You know,
they were trying to get their dog euthanized, like, compassionately, and they're like, just wait for a few days. And then she just, like, died at home in her sleep.
Oh,
the
man.
other night. Yeah,
I mean, that's
night.
still better than having to go through the whole thing. Like, sudden is better, in my opinion.
They were like, they called him, like, Monday, and they're like, we can't see you till, like, Friday. And he was like, what the and I was like, when we had this issue with any of our animals, between Tina's dogs, my cat, Ocean View Vet Hospital took us in, like, immediately. Like, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost creepy. Like, they just wanted to kill our fucking dog. No,
that's actually what they do.
Yeah, but no, it was weird. He was really upset about, like, this should have been, like, apparently it was like it was not good at the end for this dog.
Yeah.
And, like, he's like, this should have happened 3 days ago, and we just watched her suffer for 3 fucking days.
Yeah,
like,
that's fucking rotten.
So shout out to Dom and his wife Jen. Coco was a good pup, and what are you gonna do? That's part of life. Part of having a pet is, you know, it's gonna rip your heart out in about 10 to 15 years. So
I wrote this down just because I think it's funny because of the name. But did you by any chance catch that there's a movie called The American Society of Magical Negroes?
Jesus, what a segue.
No, it's great. It's a real movie, and that's the name of the movie. And it's
we go from dead dogs to. Did you ever know you could buy Colombian real estate on Zillow for a fraction of the cost? You get a vacation house, you put it on Airbnb. You're making passive income.
I never said that.
It was close.
No, it wasn't. Not even remotely close. I want to go down there and be John McAfee. That's about it. I want to move to Belize, and I want to start a revolution. No, I'm just kidding. That's anyway. Yeah, so I saw that movie. It was pretty funny on the topic of race baiting, but it just look it up. I can't say anything without sounding racist about. Like I'm not
already
even,
sound racist.
That's just it. It's designed that way so that white people can't talk about it because it's like, whatever. I thought it was funny, but I had a good idea for a segment. We should gamble on what the next topic is because we're gonna do both topics. Obviously, I think we got enough time to do both.
Gamble on the next topic.
Yeah.
Elaborate for me, Joey.
All right, so I wanted to do a solo cast where I've got a bunch of topics that we touch on, and I just wanted to extrapolate on them while I have like a 45-minute window to myself where I'm like, this is something I talked about on episode like 37 or whatever, and it's a fascinating topic to me, like a movie or like a subject or whatever that I want to elaborate on more. So like I had the time, so I wrote it down.
I just birded my way through.
No. Like,
steamrolled it and fucking we switched up because I saw a squirrel.
Yeah, but I thought
it's making fun of me.
I know, but like you're not hard, you're not bad at it. It's fun. It's what makes this
even time constraints. Like we're trying to get things in, and then there's something that you wanted to talk about it more, and then.
But yeah, so
we're gonna have Joey's alone time hour.
No. What I'm thinking is that we could gamble on what one of the subjects is, because I have notes on this. And I don't mind doing it on my own, but I was gonna say
we're gonna gamble on what
we're gonna do best of 3 rock paper scissors shoot, and we're calling this segment NASCAR or Nazi. I have a noteworthy Nazi. That I
have
talked
like 2 paragraphs worth of NASCAR.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think
literally after the race finishes, I sit there and I type like an essay.
And that's what.
It's fresh.
I have 3 whole pages on Oscar Derlowanger, and I'm either if we want to talk about it, we can.
Well, I can tell you which one I want to fucking talk about.
I know you're NASCAR, I'm Nazi. So like I said, we both brought a lot to the table today, and I want to talk NASCAR too. And I think honestly, like NASCAR would be the more productive thing, but we should still do it the rock paper scissors just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I suck at rock paper scissors.
I don't care. I have best of 3. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 notes, like bullet points, but then I have 2 paragraphs of NASCAR, dude. So best 2 out of 3. We doing like Rochambeau?
Best 2 out of 3. Rock paper scissors says or rock paper scissors shoot.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
Rock paper scissors shoot. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
1-0.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
I'm terrible. Dude, I'm the biggest mush at rock, paper, scissors.
It's okay.
I used to hate it as a kid. I'm like, dude, I suck at this. Like that and arm wrestling. Arm wrestling, I'm just a weak soy boy. But rock, paper, scissors is one of those, I knew I was going to lose.
It's okay.
I'm like,
we can still do NASCAR.
One more.
All right, ready? One more just for fun or one more?
Just for fun,
okay.
Dude.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
My first win in years.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
on the board.
So let me see if
Oscar
we can
Van Lichtenberger. He's walking over there doing that.
I was gonna try and get the guy to give us a toot.
Shout out. We're gonna sponsored by Duvall Excavating.
Yeah, Duvall Excavating.
My buddy Chris, his dad owns it. They do good work. They did my driveway at my mom's a few years ago. They've been around for fucking 30 years. great guys, local. Give them a call, 609-390-5646 for any of your excavating needs. Tell them the Blacktooth Boys sent you, and then just say, who the fuck is that?
Get off my lawn. Stop calling here.
Nah, Chuck, I think his name's Chuck. He's a good dude. My buddy Blake worked for him and was like, he's a fucking psycho.
What about Robert? I loved him in Falling Down.
That's Duval. Whenever I see their trucks, I don't know what Josh Wise used to always be like Duval or something. I don't know why, because like part of it's like capitalized. Like I don't.
Very Dago.
So I just hear Josh Wise fucking saying the fucking name. Is Duval a Dago name? I don't think he's Italian.
Maybe Spanish. I don't know.
Nah, he's like white.
Maybe
I
he's
don't
a
know what
Saxon.
Chris is.
Yeah.
I always pictured him as just like a regular white dude, like, you know, Irish, English, German, whatever, somewhere
islandy.
Not islandy. Like,
those are islands.
I don't know nothing, dude. I'm not a geo-guesser, all right?
All of them are islands.
Let's get this Nazi talk over
All
with.
right, so the reason I wanted to talk about Oscar Derlewanger was I've been listening to a shitload of Shane talking about the Apache and the Comanches and all the Indians. I don't know if that's graced your algo yet, but like, holy fucking shit, he knows.
I've been kind of off Matt and Shane lately. I will catch a fresh episode sometimes, but then I feel like I've seen so many of those old, like, clipped ones that, like, I don't know.
These are so, like, I've been catching like a lot of him talking about the Native American history, and like there was one that was a supercut about the Comanche that he did with it's part him and Matt, and then the other part is him with Chris DiStefano doing history doing history hyenas. It's a great thing. I'll send it to you too. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. You learn a shitload about the Comanche.
I think Chrissy D's underrated.
Underrated comedian, brilliant fucking mind. He's a smart fucking dude.
I relate to his anxiety talks and stuff. Like,
dude,
where he's like, it's Anxiety Tuesday. And he just
you
goes
guys
on.
Also have the nipple thing going on too, because like, did you remember that? He had like a whole saga on.
He's like, my face is like lead role, but my body is fucking like, you know, fat extra.
Bro, like he nails it. Like he's got like one of those like very confident dispositions, but then like he just unravels on mic.
His special is called Size 38 Waist.
Yeah,
that's what size pants I'm wearing right now.
Shout out. Chrissy D, we'd also love to have you on. Karen Knight, Chrissy D, and whoever the fuck else drives by.
I was plugging our podcast on Amiri King's fucking Twitter after getting into a big beef with him about his fucking gay hemp company.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, so the reason that I did this was just like Shane did a really good topic on the fall of Berlin, and he completely missed Derlewanger. Like, he completely overshadowed the entire motive for the fall of Berlin. And I asked someone, did he ever do one on the Derlewanger Brigade? And they're like, there's just no. They're like, maybe on one of the Patreons he mentioned it, but like, no. And it's like, he has that way of making like historical atrocities very hilarious. What's up, Stefan? What's up, buddy? Welcome to the world, young man.
This podcast is sponsored by my
babies. Savenya, we got a baby on the pod.
It's gonna burn. I'm definitely burnt to a crisp.
I'm burnt to a crisp too. How you doing, Tina? Actually, you're half left.
Fucking got it good.
Nailed her.
Okay. Am I right?
Yeah. So he did, but like he made like the story like both compelling and kind of like funny because of like what dickheads the Russians are as like the Red Army, which is fucking, it's great. Like listen to that, because he does a great, like, really in-depth job of explaining how stupid Russians are as like a military force, and why like they're such a hard. Like, you can't handicap them in war because they're like, they always look like they're just on the cusp of getting their dicks kicked in, but then there's so many of them, and they're so broad reaching and so like differently skilled and able that like they'll
brazen, like they're fucking kind of crazy.
They're fucking retarded.
They'll just walk into like certain death.
Like, one of the things from the fall of Berlin was he's talking about the Cossacks. The Cossacks got Russians that were supposed to. You go to the front, like, so the way that the Russians. Give us one. Oh, damn.
These fat idiots. 30 fucking. I wonder what people think when they see us doing this. Like, if I saw two. Like, it looks official with the mic stands and the whole 9 yards.
Didn't prevent Neil from.
People are probably like, what the fuck are they doing?
Podcasting, baby.
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing. Anyway, so yeah, he was like talking about how like the Cossacks like got marched like all the way to the front, and there's a river that wasn't on a map, and he was like, yeah, well, the Cossacks were told like if you retreat or any of your men get retreated, your whole regiment's gonna get like shot, but for betrayal or like refusal to fight or whatever.
Treason.
Well, yeah, that too. So they just marched these Mongolian Cossacks through a river, and they never have swam before. So like a whole regiment just drowned. And, like they were like, well, "Why'd you do it?" And they're like, "You told us to go across the river. We didn't know they couldn't swim." They're like, "Yeah, whatever. All right, we'll send
Fair
more
enough.
guys." So there's like dumb fuckery like that where they're talking about like all the Indians' names and shit like that, where like these dudes are just like, there's no like Kyle or like Joe or Jake or whatever. It's just like whatever's going on when you're born is like it just like amplifies their dickheadedness. So I want to call this segment Dickhead History because Oscar Durlowanger I think might be King Dickhead. So this man, he's not a hero. He is like the worst of worst Nazis that ever lived. But he was a total fucking
Hero.
dickhead. Total fucking dickhead. And he's like hilarious because every step of the way, like, all right, so he was born September 26, 1895 in Swabian, southwest Germany. In 1913, he moved with his family to Württemberg and joined the Württemberg Guard, which is like their army. So he enlisted in 1913 in that after he moved there. He was a World War I machine gunner and was had some noteworthy battles. He was in the Ardennes and he was in Hunterberg, which he was like actually praised as being a very good and like knowledgeable soldier and brought like a lot of prowess to the table for his like so. It instilled really that he had leadership skills for the army, but like obviously the Germans lost, so his skills kind of went underappreciated. But he
History's written by the victors.
yeah, you know.
To the victors belongs the spoils.
But his first instance of being gravely wounded was in World War I. And mind you, this man lived till 1945 and possibly longer. He was partially, and by partially, 40% disabled. Like he was wounded, he got shot 3 times being a machine gunner and lost mobility of some of his like fingers and appendages and was like a very stiff person. And yeah, it was 40% of his body was disabled. And because of that, he received like the Purple Heart from them, which is the Iron Cross. It's like a high, you've seen Band of Brothers and whatnot, the Iron Cross and whatnot. So he received that, but immediately after receiving the Iron Cross, first dickhead move, while wounded, disobeyed orders and marched 600 plus men from Romania to Germany in an act of defiance, and literally like fought his way back because the whole way people were like, "Yo, you can't come here." And he's just like, "Oh, fuck you,"
Jesus
and
Christ.
just was like wandering through the fucking like eastern front of Germany.
That's kind of what Nazis did.
Yeah, well, this was like World War I though. Like
Oh.
this was before, like this was the Ottomans. Like these were loose factions of like German states.
What was his motive or his end plan or something?
All right, so it leads to that his trauma and like so from all of this because he was disabled, his trauma and disability turned him into a psychotic pervert who was an alcoholic and drug user.
Sounds like both of us.
Yeah, he adopted an unrestrained mode of life characterized by contempt for laws and rules of society because of his like disability. And he's
Like a real cowboy.
So post World War I, he decided to enlist like because and also like he kept getting arrested. Like one of the notes I have later on is like a bunch of the things he got arrested for. Like, but there's like mostly like rape and torture, like of civilians and shit like that. So
not good.
He had to go on the run for after World War I, and a way that he got around going to jail was enlisting in the Spanish Civil War, and he went over to Spain, fought there, went up in the ranks. The German Civil War happened in the early 30s. He came back for that, fought, went up in the ranks too. And then with the rise of Nazism, there was like, like they kind of were like, yeah, you committed a lot of fucking war crimes and like you're pretty much treasonous, but because you're not a communist, we like you. So he kept getting arrested and like thrown in insane asylums like multiple times. And the Nazis would just be like, nah, you got your boys with that Himmler guy, like the Himmler's boy likes you, so we're just gonna keep popping you out and giving you promotions. So King
He
Dickhead
somehow like nepoed his way up the ranks.
dude, he kept falling ass back. Like he would get wounded, become a drug addict and an alcoholic, and then get sprung from prison.
Now
They're
he's
just like, now
general.
you're a sergeant. Like it's like, okay. So in 1921, Easter of 1921, he was one of his most noteworthy early battles before World War II was he liberated the Sungerhausen from the communists and got shot in the face and survived. And because of that,
This guy fucking 50 Cent, dude.
yeah, dude. So he's praised as a hero because he quelled the communist uprising. So the Nazis really gave him favor on that. And his, even though he got deported to go fight in the Civil War or the Spanish Civil War, he still was like, all right, you're kind of cool with us because you kill communists. And
How
then,
good does that shade and that breeze feel
dude,
right
it's
now?
fucking amazing right now.
I'm like getting lightheaded over it.
I know.
I'm sweating bullets.
Drink another
chugging
water.
waters. Haven't had to pee yet. I've drank like 3 waters.
All right, so after the 2 wars, he studied poli-science at University of Frankfurt. And all of this while he was working for a Jewish textile employer that he was just fleecing for money. Like he was just stealing hand over fist, and then with the money he was stealing, he was donating it to the Nazi party. And not only did
This guy lived.
not only did he get arrested for this, he was imprisoned by the Nazis for stealing money and giving it to them.
He didn't file it on his tax returns.
So, yeah, like I said, like he's the king dickhead. Like he's a dumb fuck. And like so he donated to the Nazis and the SA party literally for kicks. Like he did it for the lulz. He thought it was a funny, and then it led to imprisonment. And he may or may not have also fucked a few kids, and that did it. But yeah,
that's where you lose me.
yeah. So he he was an insane alcoholic. So like I don't even think it this, and he's been shot in the face multiple. Like this man is like retarded to begin
I've
with.
been an alcoholic, and
Dude,
I'm
but
insane.
have you ever been shot in the face and then tried
No.
to negotiate a relationship?
I don't know if that's an excuse to fuck kids, though.
I don't think so either, but you have a few concussions. It makes you do weird shit. Case in point, Aaron Hernandez.
He didn't fuck kids, though.
Yeah,
he just stuck a
fucked
few
his
dicks
buddy.
in prison. Yeah, that's fair.
And tried to skydive from his
consensual.
neck. But anyway, so yeah, he was sent to prison and released because of he's boys with Himmler's boy. But they did send him to a concentration camp because they wanted to keep a good eye on him while he was like they didn't want him doing anything, but they wanted the Germans to be like in possession of him. So he got sent to concentration camp again for fucking kids, again for the lulz because he's an insane person. But
He got sent to a concentration camp?
yeah, he was
Holy
imprisoned in a concentration camp.
Fuck, dude.
So he was pardoned by this guy named Berger, who was the friend of Himmler, and because he
Making
graduated.
me fucking hungry, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? Because he had a poli-sci degree and he was like very well praised for his liberation of the Sangerhausen. They raised him. They reinstated his doctorate as a poli-sci major, gave him an SS rank, which is like a huge deal, and sent him to Spain.
What is SS short for?
Strappen something groups in. I don't fucking know.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel, yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, so he got sent to Spain, was wounded again another 3 times, and then also went up in rank. So this is now about time where the Weimar is on the rise. So this is World War II. We're talking like 1933, 1944, around there. So he's enlisted in the SS.
Beginnings of World War II.
Yeah, so he's enlisted in the SS because they liked what he could do. And he's also, like, everybody kind of hates him because he makes Nazism look bad. Like, all these stereotypes. Exactly. Like,
You're making us look bad.
That's just it. He's like, yeah, it's like we're doing
Never
a
mind
thing.
the 6 mil.
No, all the, like, major...
You're worse than that.
They're like, all the major rumors that got spread around, like, the ghettos and the concentration camps are because of this Dirlewanger Brigade, because of how sinister evil... Like, he's cartoonishly evil, but, like, a full-on alcoholic retard. And, like...
That's what you want.
Shoot... What?
That's what you want in, like, an evil war villain.
But, like, that's just it. Like, all the Nazis are, like, very German and Austrian uptight, like, motherfuckers that are like, he makes us look bad. We just want to make people cause, yeah? And, like, this guy's just, like, fucking slinging beer and riding in tanks, shooting his own men for not walking fast enough in front of them. But yeah, so he's given the Dirlewanger Brigade, which relied heavily on hunting and tracking experts, and it was at first just a... It was a battalion, so it was like, you know, like a couple dozen men, but because they were so successful and so skilled and led by this fucking lunatic, it grew to a regiment and then fully into a brigade by the I think 1936. I didn't write it down though, but he also was known for recruiting from insane asylums and prisons because he was incarcerated. So he had a lot of homies on the inside. Made a lot of homies on the inside that he also trained militaristically as part of like the concentration camp / psychotic rehabilitation thing. They would like make you do calisthenics and shit. So you get them like disciplined and trained. So these dudes liked fighting and liked training with them. So he was like, hey, you know what? You don't have to be in this insane asylum anymore. We'll give you a uniform, come with us. And like they would just go fucking bananas in the fucking like so
that's the dark arts, man.
Bro, it gets so much darker. So yeah, so Commander he oversaw he got outsourced to Poland after this, and he oversaw political security duties in occupied Poland because Germany sacked Danzig and anyway
great group.
Yeah. So he ended up commander at Stary Ryskov. I don't know how to say it, labor camp, but the too long didn't read. It gets very brutal, very dark arts. Murdered a bunch of Polish people and gets sent to the Eastern Front because of how good he did, even though he really kept pissing off, like even to the point where like Hitler was like, yo, like, we're going to send you to the most dangerous place because we think you're going to die because you're making us look bad.
Yeah.
So we're going to send you as a spearhead division into the Russian front. So this is 1943. His camp atrocities included injecting women and girls with strychnine poisoning and watching them die in agony. And this is where the origination of the soap-making rumor comes from.
Dude?
Is the victims that would report this version of death is that Dirlewanger would sit and smoke cigarettes, watch these girls get injected. When they died, he'd have them cut up and mixed with horse meat
fed to the camp.
No, it would. That's how you make soap. Is like horse has like a certain amount of like fat and protein and shit like that. So that's where
they make human soap.
They make human soap. So, but he also was accused, while being in the camp, overseeing this camp, as he was accused of the higher Nazis rank came in and did a survey and were like, yeah, you're a full-on alcoholic, you rape, you torture, you murder. And they were all encouraged by Himmler. And a direct quote was, he would drink to excess and casually shot men he did not like. Like I said, he's a king dickhead, but he's kind of funny. He's cartoonishly evil.
I love him, except the kid rape stuff.
Yeah,
even the rape stuff is not.
It's not good.
Why is it a thing in war? Just the rape and pillage. Like, we're gonna come there, we're gonna fuck your wives and then kill them and then burn your town down.
Actually, is inspired by so like a lot of this is from the Russians and the Ottomans fighting. The Russians would run and sack German and Eastern, like Poland, Belarus, all these places. They would come, sack cities, and do basically that. They would rape and pillage, like literally, like take people, round them up, enslave them, and
take
send
all
them to
gold,
come work in Siberia against your will. And that's how like a lot of things happened, like from like the 1500s to about like the early 1900s. World War I basically was like the catalyst where they kind of unified and were like, yeah, we're gonna go kick all these dickheads in. So World War I was a lot of that too. Like this isn't just like exclusive to like 1942 like Eastern Front combat. Like there was generational warfare of like raping and murdering like between these two parties. So these were the Germans being like, oh, we have a chance to kind of get back at them, and Hitler just spearheaded a division by sending them into this was Belarus in 1942. There's a movie called Come and See. It's on YouTube for free with translations. It's very good. It's about this exact brigade, the Dirlewanger Brigade, and Russian partisans. And just the clear partisan means communist, which Dirlewanger had a real hard-on for the communists. He did not like them because they were part of the reason that his enterprises post-war were fucked up. He couldn't get military care for it. Like, so he became like a full-on alcoholic and a drug addict, not because of like, I'm depressed. He's like, I have no recourse, and all the communists are like fucking my shit up because there was like all this like power struggle going on in post-war Germany. There was no money. It really was a dire situation. So it's not like this guy just came out of nowhere like an evil fucking cartoon character, like twisting a mustache or whatever. Like he just literally was like, I was born, I had to go to war, I got wounded where most of my body doesn't work anymore, and now when I need to get like money, I can't make it. So fuck all you fuckers. And like I don't have, like, he doesn't have Reddit to fucking gripe to. He just like sits there, gets drunk, does dope, and it's like, all right, I'm just start shooting them.
Shoot some people in the head.
Start raping them. But yeah, so he was part of the anti-partisan, anti-gang unit, and his preferred method was mass execution, which you see in Come and See, where they hoard people into a church or a barn, lock it from the outside, and set it on fire. And he also sometimes would use Polish people as minesweepers. He would just line them up and make them walk across a minefield. But and it's unclear. It's unclear because this is another thing too. With I can't get into this is not denialism or anything like that, but the numbers are
big time deniers over here.
The numbers are super fucked because of how inaccurate the Russians' reporting is on this. So they killed somewhere between 30 and 120,000 Belarusians in a year.
It's a big gap.
And he was given, Stalin's purges are something like 20 million to like 52 million. Like that's a gigantic margin of error.
People?
Yeah, that's just Russians. Russians killing Russians. Russians being sent on trains to Siberia to farm land that doesn't produce anything.
For what? What was the?
Because he thought they were political enemies, anti-commie rhetoric, dissidents, partisans, shit like that.
Well,
So the communists like had their own version of this, but this guy didn't like the communists, so he was like, I'm gonna do like what they're gonna do to me, but like 10 times worse if like I get caught. So he was, because of like all the Belarusians he killed, he was given a gold cross for the conquest of Belarus, and he was kill confirmed for 14,000 partisans. Like he killed 14,000 enemy combatants during the Operation Cottbus. So now it's 1944, and like I said,
it's a hell of a kill streak.
So this whole time, like I said, he's pissing off the upper ranks because they're like, you're making us look like shit. Like, even though you're successful, and Hitler and Himmler were happy because the war machine was moving in a direction that they were gaining territory, they're like, everything you're doing is making us look horrible, and it's really fucking our image up. So he got, just by pure coincidence, injured in I want to say Poland. And Latvia, I think. So he lost most of his brigade to the Red Army because the untrained retards who were drunk and untested against actual military got sent to the front, and he got wounded, so he got sent to the back, and they didn't have any guidance and are literally like in tattered clothing with no weapons, just like
getting picked off,
fucking like just running at the enemy like an insane person. And the Russians mowed down like, I think it was like 2/3 of his entire brigade. Like
R.I.P.
Yeah, so he regroups with more men and suppresses the Warsaw Uprising, which is going on in Poland in one of the ghettos. You can see that in Schindler's List. That's one of the purge of the Warsaw Ghetto is the one scene that that's also his brigade. That's Dirlewanger's brigade. So he regroups more men, suppresses the uprising, and he's present at the Walla massacre, which is 40,000 civilians massacred, raped, burned, entire hospital with civilians with flamethrowers. And after he got sick of shooting them, he didn't want to waste any more ammunition, so he would have the SS guys go from hospital bed to hospital bed and ensure everybody was dead by butt stocking their skulls till they imploded. And
that'll do it.
He also burnt a school down, and it's unclear, but it was between 350 and 500 children were burnt to death in a school in in Walla. But he was promoted again to the Knight's Iron Cross, which is like right one under the Medal of Honor in our military. For how good he did at those two places. So he keeps going up in rank. And also, I learned this too, like I said, Chief Dickhead, because his people were all fucking mentally ill and deranged, they had a group mascot. The brigade had a company mascot where it was a one-legged boy that would follow them around, and they would kick his fucking crutches out and shit, and he would just hop. And it's fucked up, and they brought him everywhere.
He's their hype man.
Yeah, so he was a one-legged 12-year-old boy. They blew up with grenades for fun while drunk. They put live grenades in his passenger bag and had him hop up toward the tree, and boom,
What the fuck?
Like,
dude?
I said, they're not exactly.
But they timed to a string?
No, they just put live, German grenades, the stick grenades, they have time delay on them, so you can just, put them somewhere, and they'll go off after, a minute or 10 minutes or whatever.
I thought it was, video games, where you have 3 seconds to throw this thing.
Well, I mean, American grenades, those are pineapple and the frag grenades. They're, they're actually designed more like a baseball, because Americans play baseball, so when they were at the inception of World War II pineapple grenades, they were like, we want something that very closely resembles a baseball so they can throw it. But the Germans had been making the same grenade for, I don't know, it's 47 years, I think, at that point. I think they've been making it since before World War I.
They had timer options?
It had timer options. Yeah, it had
a
a delay fuse, and actually something I think 1 in 3 of them didn't work too. They were a very poorly made grenade. They were very effective, but they didn't when they didn't work, they were.
I like throwing them in Call of Duty. They were pretty fun. They look cool.
They bounce.
Day to feet. They get that nice.
Like a hatchet.
I've held one somewhere.
What, a penis?
Well, several, but some museum or trade show or whatever, somewhere. I was big in World War II back in middle school, and I got to. It wasn't live, obviously, but it was a real German fucking grenade.
Nice.
Pretty cool. They got some weight to them.
They do, man. They're wooden.
I wanted to throw it very badly. No.
Just take out the fucking.
I literally got to hold it, and they're like, "All right, give it back, stupid."
We know you're not trustworthy with this.
We know you're gonna shove this in your butt.
Stop sitting on the grenades. Get out of the Holocaust Museum.
Why did you bring that here?
I wanted to just get one of them to sign it. Anyway, with a ballpoint pen. Sorry.
Got in a lot of trouble in 6th grade. We had to go to the Stockton University. They would have a living Holocaust survivor give a speech, and it was this 97-year-old lady. Her name was Esther. She couldn't hear.
What?
Yeah, and it was just we were just mocking her, being like, "What's your name, Esther?" Just making fun of her name. Not even funny, just
not even mocking her for why she's there. You're just making name, fun of her for being an old lady.
Yeah,
stupid Holocaust survivor.
Got in a lot of trouble. Got fucking berated on
yeah,
the
I'm sure.
And then my mom was pissing me too. She's like, "You can't fucking." I think she was a chaperone or something. Everyone was like, "Yeah, it was me and the boys." I was getting the boys
cracking up, Yeah, what do you want from me?
It was boring.
So, that's before I started.
Fucked up, but it was. She was just like, "Yeah, it wasn't fun," and I'm just like, "Yeah, okay." I didn't need to see a live person from this. It doesn't.
I got strong opinions.
She got raped by Dirlewanger.
Yeah, probably. She enjoyed it.
She was a faker, dude. She didn't even go. Didn't happen.
trying not to say that. But all right, so 1944, he goes to Eastern Germany and Hungary with his new brigade. Like he gets all these new soldiers because he went home and regrouped.
He was hungry and he went with his General Berger.
But yeah, yet again, they're doing this because he gets sent to the rear and loses a bunch of men, and they're like, okay, this is going to be the thing that kills this guy. Like he's fine. He's going to get a bunch of territory. He's going to get us where we need to be.
Him.
Yeah, but they were like, you're going to be the spear point because you're in your
treat him like a goddamn
troops.
crash test.
Yeah,
crash test.
You're all gonna fucking die, and you're he's shot in the chest and sent to the rear, which was his 12th fucking time getting shot in combat and surviving, and that was his marked his unofficial.
He have a vest on or something? How's he? He's just taking bullets.
It's crazy. He's just drunk. Actually, there's something I can explain a little bit later, but the unofficial retirement of Oskar Dirlewanger was him getting shot the 12th time, and he went into hiding after being sent back to his town in Germany. So, 1945, Upper Swabia, Germany. He was spotted by a former inmate at one of his camps using alias hiding in a hunting lodge. He was arrested and allegedly executed sometime between June 5th and 7th. Now, this is where the fucking man becomes
what was he executed for? War crimes? Or?
This is what I'm saying. This is where the man becomes a fucking legend. So, post-mortem, the official narrative from the captors is that the guards interning him beat him to death. The French say he died of a heart attack and was immediately buried in an unmarked grave, like Bin Laden style. But there's also some French that claimed to be present at the execution and said that there's a bunch of Polish people that came in and kidnapped him before they could do anything and pushed that they told the French people that he had a heart attack and say that, and then just dig up a hole and put a fake grave over it. So the French might have given him to Poland. But then there's also people and groups that both claim responsibility for killing him, which is Poles, the former inmates of a bunch of his camps, former prison guards that worked for him, French military prisoners, Polish military prisoners, and then even some people claim that when he was kidnapped, he escaped instead of was kidnapped to be executed and went to go fight with the French Foreign Legion as a mercenary. And then somebody claimed that in the 60s, he was spotted in Egypt torturing their president Nasser, his security detail. So the man was spotted after he was allegedly killed, and there's no body or tangible evidence of where
kinda
the
like,
guy's.
Hitler going to Argentina.
Yeah,
kind of slipped through the cracks. You think?
Well, that's just it. Russia's got Hitler's brain allegedly, but like they've done DNA testing on it. It's not it, and like Eva Braun's DNA isn't like apparently there in the bunker or something like that. So there's like good reason to believe that they had like fall people that they just dragged in there and then like yank a few teeth, get on a sub. How's she doing? So couple things about his legacy. He inspired the character Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, which inspired this whole thing because I just learned that fact like 2 days ago when I watched Escape from New York. And Snake Plissken is also the pseudonym for Solid Snake from Metal Gear.
Who plays him?
It's what's his name? Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was picturing like Defoe or fucking what's his name? The guy who looks like Defoe.
Kevin Bacon.
Leary.
Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
He was once referred to, I believe this was a quote from somebody in military intelligence working for Britain, as the Genghis Khan of Poland, because he literally changed the landscape for their population for like 2 generations. That's how many people he killed in Belarus,
Jesus
Poland,
Christ,
and
dude.
Germany. But he was the most brutal Nazi ever, hands down. Most concentration camp atrocity rumors are based on Oskar Dirlewanger. Accused crimes: alcoholism, sadism, torture, necrophilia, murder, rape, molestation, crimes against humanity, perversion, and a drug addict. People regard his military campaign as so cruel it seems as if it was the work of literary fabrication. Fun fact too, his Iron Cross, the Dirlewanger Iron Cross, is still hailed as an Azov flag in Ukraine currently, and is being flown over Azov divisions today that are fighting against Russia.
Nice.
So his legacy still lives on, and if you have something nice to say about Ukraine, it's that they really savored Oskar Dirlewanger. And
you still see Ukraine flags around town.
Yeah,
people flying.
Still see the Israel ones too. It's like, what are you guys doing? Shut up about. Focus on America. We got an election coming up. They're trying to influence us. Knock it the fuck up.
I don't even pay. I know like you're supposed to follow it. It's world news, but I don't even pay attention to it.
I don't either.
It's
just stupid at this point, and all it does is make me angry.
Yeah.
But all right, last.
So the Dirlewanger's legacy lives on. We got five minutes.
All right, Shane. There's one account. Once he got caught, a fugitive for stealing a cop car while drunk and crashing it. That was one of his first arrests. He specifically recruited other war criminals and clinically insane people to fight. There was at one point a 50-50 chance of the brigade killing you like you would be Pat Tillman by your own guys, just not because of politics or anything or personal preference,
just because you were annoying.
No, literally just because they were insane and were like, yeah, you're talking too much. Bang. So there's this guy named Schenck who wrote a book, and he was in the Warsaw Uprising.
Cenk Uygur?
Yeah, Cenk Uygur. Schencke. He wrote a book about it. Warsaw. Dirlewanger's running door to door with explosives, blowing out doors, killing all inside except women, and then they would rape and then torture and kill them. Would ride in a battle tank, or would ride into battle on a tank because of good cover, and he could mix himself cocktails while driving.
Fucking Leahy.
He had a better view of how to shoot his own soldiers that weren't doing it right, and that was like a literal quote. He would fucking follow them up with a Luger and shoot them in the back if they weren't marching correctly, and would be doing it with a cocktail in his hand.
Imagine the amount of stress you're under if you're on his fucking battalion.
Dude, like 50-50 chance of being killed by your own man.
Dude, and then it's like an 80-20 chance of getting killed in combat.
And then I think this might have an answer to one of your questions. He encouraged soldiers to drink vodka and not eat before going into battle because it's more survivable if you get shot on an empty stomach. So,
really?
Yeah.
Is there any truth to that?
I don't know. He got shot 12 fucking times and he was hammered all 12 of them, so I'm assuming there's a little bit of validity to it.
Well, R.I.P. Dirlewanger.
Well, that's just it. We don't know where he actually ended up. There's like
probably dead by now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely dead by now. I mean, he was old. He was born in the 1890s. Like, yeah, he's clearly dead.
I'm fascinated by those things, like guys who got away and like wonder whatever. Not just Nazis, just criminals in general.
Want to hear kind of
wonder what happened to that guy, like Whitey Bulger before he got caught. Just fucking lammed it for like 20 years. Like, it's just like. There's a bunch of what's the guy who robbed the plane or something?
What's his name? Yeah, I know he's talking.
He never got caught.
D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, that's a fascinating story. It's like, wonder whatever happened to that guy. Like,
he became Tommy Wiseau is one of the prevailing theories. I had an opportunity to ask that to Tommy Wiseau while he was on Jim and Sam one time, and they hung up on me before I got to. So that was pretty funny. No, one of the things though that I did very much. Think that like there's a lot of like anti-heroes in history, and I don't think Oscar Dirlewanger is an anti-hero. I think he's like fucking a monster, like an atrocious human being. Like a literal, like he's a scumbag, lunatic, fucking maniacal fucking war criminal. But you got to admire persistence like that. Getting shot like the second time, I'd probably be like, yeah, war's probably not for me. Probably the first time.
Did they have a choice back then, though?
Well, I think he just got, he was, so entrenched in it by the time, it got...
It's all he knew, man.
Yeah, it's like he was in World War I, and, that's what fucked Hitler up so much was, he saw the horrors of war, and he wanted to, kind of fucking not... He wanted to mobilize his military so that it would be a precautionary or preventative measure, and then shit just kind of got off the rails. He was taking a little too much Pervitin himself, too.
Jeez.
But, yeah.
Well...
Yeah,
I have 1 minute.
Talk about some NASCAR.
We can super shout out to Aaron. Super grateful I got to go to the Dover race the day before my son was born. Dover's super sentimental to me. Used to go to my grandparents. Used to go with my grandparents every year as a youth. My grandma got me into NASCAR. We missed the first 30 or so laps because this was we were calling you to try and get you to go. Races at 2, we were leaving at 11 a.m. and it's a 2.5 hour drive without counting the traffic by the track or anything like that. So we missed a little bit at the beginning. But as soon as we got in and we're seeing the cars rip around and stuff, I legit teared up just because it was the smell and the sound and just being there, haven't been there in 20 years. And it was I was instantly teleported back to being 10 again. I was it looks the same. It smells. It's just it almost smells sweet, the burning rubber and the race fuel. It has this weird, it's like redneck Cinnabon. It's just so, I teared up a little bit, man. I'm not going to lie. I got a little emotional, but shout out to Aaron for fucking hitting us up for that. And I'm so glad I got to go. And then my boy Denny Hamlin got a win, so that was pretty cool.
Shout out Denny.
Yeah, I was super pumped. He held off Larson. He was charging hard at the end there. They got a little spread out in the middle, but, overall it was a good race. And then Kansas this week. I'm over my sour grapes. I'm not as upset anymore. It was an amazing finish.
By a fucking micron.
If Buescher door slammed Larson for the win, I'd be saying best move of the year. But it's just because it's a driver I don't like. I was like, he fucking door slammed him. He's a dirty driver. And then people were like, your profile picture is Dale Earnhardt. Shut the fuck up. And I'm like, you know what? When you're right, you're right. Like, I need to shut the fuck up and stop being a
good point.
Hendrick hater, crybaby bitch. It was an amazing race. Read my notes real quick. Kansas, amazing race. Buescher loses by a nose. Larson door slams the ever-living fuck out of him coming to the line. Almost punts him into the grass. I was jumping up and down, fist pumping. I don't know if you saw the finish or anything like that, but
I did.
They originally for like 30 seconds to 1 minute were like 17-1, and I'm like, yes. Like I normally don't get like that pumped, but like I like Chris Buescher that much. He was the driver that Ant Schuler was a mechanic for a few seasons.
Oh, there. Shout out! That's fucking sick.
So I mean, Chris Buescher's the fucking man. He's a super like nice, humble guy. He races clean. Blah blah blah. I like Chris Buescher, and I supremely dislike Kyle Larson. I don't know why. He's just really good. I don't like him. I was super pumped. It's like an underdog fucking holds them off. And then a minute later, they're like, actually the 5-1. And they're showing Chris Buescher's team celebrating the whole 9. So I was like, it was the weirdest like roller coaster. And then I was just angry like the whole night. And I'm going at it on fucking Twitter and Reddit with people. But yeah, jumping up and down, fist pumping. As the broadcast says, Buescher wins, shows his crew celebrating. 30 seconds later, announced Larson had won. Absolutely hate to see it. Buescher was the driver Schuler worked for. Ricky Stenhouse brings it home, P16. Solid day for Ricky. He ran up towards the top 10 most of the day.
At Dover, he spun out.
His Minute Rice car looked sharp. At Dover, he was having a great day, looking like he was going to chase for a top 10, and he spun out merging off pit road, which I couldn't really see. I didn't know what happened, but then I heard them mention it on like Dale Jr.'s podcast or something like that week. He just signed a multi-year deal. Ricky's going to be sticking around for the next 2 or 3 years.
Fucking awesome. Glad to hear it.
Good
it's because
Ricky.
I bought that hat, man. It's all that. I'm wearing my other hats.
Alive.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm wearing that's my Aspro stop hat.
But yeah, Kansas was an amazing race. It got a 96, like the highest ever. Jeff Gluck, was this a good race poll? Highest ever rating. I voted no. I was angry. I was emotional. I voted no. I was one of the 4%. But nah, it was just an amazing race from start to finish. There was comers and goers. There was passing for the lead throughout. Like, 1.5-mile tracks with whatever the aerodynamic package is on this current car, however it runs. Apparently, these cookie-cutter style tracks used to be terrible 6 years ago, and now with this new car, they overcompensated, and they made these style tracks race really well. But now the short track package and the super speedway package kind of sucks. So, like, I don't know. If they hit a home run on these style tracks, and it showed on Sunday. And I had a lot of fun at Dover, too. So, shout out to Aaron. We can skip over my other bullshit. It's just dumb observations, like the Maurice Pier billboards. They're fucking annoying.
So
the thumbs,
fucking
they're
gay.
So gay.
You make $0 for scrolling. Fuck you.
Yeah, somebody needs a thumber job.
Somebody with it sounds like somebody got fucking fucked in the mouth.
Rubber ducks on Jeep dashboards. I find that annoying.
Very
I don't know why.
It's very gay.
Stupid.
Jeep culture is gay.
Emery King. He's a real funny dude. I just went at his neck for he's a big time like Delta 8 salesman on Twitter.
Tell his wife to get out of the fucking weeds.
He posts clickbait and then just while he's always in the comments like, while you're here, subscribe to Dreamland Tranquility and buy my fucking hemp. And he pumps it like it's like real weed, and it's just like kind of fucking hemp. It's just like kind of like con artisty or something, because he's getting like wine moms being like, these gummies really knocked my socks off. And then other than that, I got the pretzels.com, licorice.com, and caramels.com ads on Facebook. They're just super fucking annoying, and then all the reviews on them, apparently they're dog shit. Nice. It's literally just licorice.com, and it'll be a guy eating licorice, and he's like, wow, this licorice is so good. Wow, it's soft. They have the same like, it's like a really C-list like advertising actor doing it, and like they always have the same line. They're like, it's soft, it's chewy, this is delicious. And like, it's like so low effort. Like they just literally give 10 people the same script and like have them read it, and like apparently it's like $16 for a box of this like small box of this licorice, and everyone in the comments like, this shit sucked, like what a fucking ripoff. But now this week, I've been getting them for a while, and now this week I'm getting pretzels.com and caramels.com, so they've expanded their business. So fuck them. And then a fun one, death anxiety. Like last night, I was super high laying in bed, and then you just ever have that thought, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die one day. And then I felt like I couldn't breathe for like 30 minutes. So that was fun. I don't know, it happens sometimes. Gets me like once a month where I'm like, oh yeah.
Mortality.
Not that it didn't freak me out pre-kids, but now I feel like I have a motive to like stick around to at least a certain point. Like you want to see your kids, you want to be a grandpa someday. You want to see your kids graduate like
middle school.
So then it's just this intrusive, like I'm gonna fucking get butthole cancer and die at fucking 35. Like,
Jesus
it's always
Christ.
it's always the hypochondriac
Yeah.
angle. It's not like I'm gonna get hit by a bus or something. It's like I probably have cancer. I'm scared. Like it's
My
one of
tummy
those-
hurts. I'm
Yeah,
gonna die.
literally,
Vinny's
like-
gonna have to
Yeah.
sell crack.
Or last night was like I felt like I couldn't breathe, and it's probably because I just smoked a fucking blunt.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right now.
Having a heart attack, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, so that's all I really have for my notes. Sorry, it's going a little longer. I have to run, but we gotta give our plugs. I wanted to plug Tina. Not like that.
Clearly.
Can't do that for 6 weeks. But yeah, we brought home our son this week, Stefan Ronald Pareca Seymour. 2 middle names, 1 last name. Stefan, Stefan. We thought in our heads that was just Stefan, but about 80% of people keep calling him Stefan, and like that's not the name. I don't like Stefan at all. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Indifferent. I like his name. I think
I like
it's cute.
Stefan better than Stefan.
Stefan is cute. Stefan would be S-T-E, because like
F-
Stefan.
F-
Yeah, no.
E-N is the German version.
P-H, I think, because it's like Stephanie is like S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E.
Well, that's just Steven.
Well, yeah, but it's like Steph.
Well, no. The reason I think everyone keeps calling him Stefan is there's some show. I keep fucking marble mouthing my words like a cotton mouth like a motherfucker. There's some show called Vampire Diaries.
Even Stevens.
Even Steffens.
You ever see Ren naked?
It's called Vampire Diaries, and one of the main characters is Stefan, and it's spelled like my son's name is spelled.
No, so chicks are just like,
So like
it's
every
like chicks and
receptionist at
boyfriends.
doctor's offices are like Stefan.
Oh fuck!
Even my sister was like, "Is it Stefan?" And I'm like, "No, it's Stefan." She's like, "Oh, I like that way better." Anyway, everything went pretty smooth, all things considered, and he's night and day difference than Vincent, man. Vincent was super cocky. Vincent had a rough go. He was born a lot earlier, and with Tina had preeclampsia and all that, so he had a rough go in the beginning. This kid just like sleeps through everything. Like he does wake up a few times a night. You know, shout out to Tina for handling that. I gotta stay sharp, get my beauty sleep because I get up with Vincent now. So
Nice.
Now I see how hard that is, getting up at 5:30 every fucking day. But we're doing all right.
I get up at 5. I've been getting up at 5:30 my entire life.
I'm a fucking night owl. I like staying up late and then I pay for it in the morning. Anyway, getting into the weeds here. Brought home our baby boy. Everything so far so good. So feeling blessed. And then we just gotta get the plugs and I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta pick up my son.
Camman 609-453143 JSCROC0@gmail.com. I'll clean your shit.
Traction Motorsports. Camman will clean your shit. Might have to employ you to come power wash the side of my house here.
Yes.
Traction Motorsports. Tommy Rink. Driving the 11R micro sprint car over there at Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway and several other tracks. I got the schedule on my fridge actually, and I wore my 11R shirt to the fucking big day. So the pictures of me holding my boy, I'm wearing an 11R shirt. And
I thought you were referring to the. I was gonna say I thought you were referring to the big day as the Dover day. I thought not your.
No, I
kids.
wore my Dale Senior shirt that day.
Figure.
No, but I wore the 11R shirt, the delivery room. Yeah, I think they got rained out this week, so hopefully they have a good weather weekend this week and have a fun race. Stewart's Handyman Service, 609-338-9427. Great work, great guy, great prices. He's hiring. Drug-free, must-have reliable transportation.
Bring
Give
your
him
own
a shout.
Pervitin.
Pay. All depends on your skills. If you're like me, you can't nail a fucking hole in the wall, he's going to give you fucking $10 probably. But if you're skilled, I really got to go. He'll probably hook you to fuck up. I don't know what he's paying for real, but he's looking for 1 or 2 guys. If you're fucking good at carpentry, you want to fucking work for Stu, hit him up. He's a cool guy. HRS Promotions, shout out to Autumn, one of the many sponsors of this podcast, and we couldn't do this without you. Man, Brendan Shepard Off-Road Racing, one of our sponsees. Go check him out. He rides a fucking badass KTM machine. I think he had a good week this week, so I got to run.
Yeah.
It's been real. Go fuck yourself. I hope I win rock, paper, scissors next week. That shit was fucking... My man had an essay written about Derlewanger.
Hell fucking yeah, dude. I've been chomping at the bit. Nah, get your
I
kid
thought
on.
you had a fucking Noah Gregson hat on, but it's an ass bro stop.
It says that's. I just said it. I was like, I see on the pre-show all the dudes wearing the Bass Pro Shop shit, so I got one to blend in. I don't think nobody noticed it.
I thought you had like a Truex or a Gregson hat on.
Nope, that's my ass bro stop.
That's funny as hell.
All right,
gotta
thanks for
run.
listening. Go
Love you
fuck
guys.
yourselves.